folks that are joining Zoom, we kindly ask for your patience, but we will go ahead and get this meeting started. So welcome everyone to CB4's Wednesday, September 20th, public hearing and regular meeting. It is 6:05 p.m. and we're going to go right into our public hearing agenda. Before that, welcome back everyone. We hope you had a nice summer. We thank you for being here. It's so good to see so many of you in person. All right, so I just want to check first to see if we have anybody from El Puente, the civic engagement team, Addison or Alyssa, either on Zoom or in person. I don't see anyone in person. I don't think they're on Zoom yet. All right. So do we have our inspector from the precinct on Zoom? Sarubi? Okay, not yet. So we're going to go right into our second agenda item, which is the Hope Gardens RAD team, specifically Penrose. They're going to be presenting the project proposal for Hope and Bushwick Gardens to receive HUD Community Block Grant Disaster Recovery Funding. I will pass this over to Bianca Sosa, the associate developer.
Doesn't matter. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I was going to be joined by a representative from our general contractor, but she's running late, so I'll just cover for her. Are we showing the deck? Okay, I'll wait. Great. So I'm just going to give an overview of the Hope and Bushwick Gardens CDBG DR project. If we can go to the second slide. And the background on funding, it's a federally funded project pursuant to the HUD Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, which is CDBG-DR. HUD is the office, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. New York City has been receiving these funds since Hurricane Sandy, and the Hope and Bushwick project is included in the latest Hurricane Ida funding round. So the background on how we actually get funds: Penrose submitted a funding application to NYCHA, the New York City Housing Authority, back in November of 2022. That was submitted to the New York City Department of Office of Management and Budget, which OMB submitted to HUD for inclusion in this action plan that administers. HUD approved the action plan back in August, and sure. So currently we're in the process of getting funding. Can you hear me now? Good. Okay, great. So HUD would grant the funds to OMB, and then OMB has to make an arrangement with NYCHA to get those funds, and then that NYCHA organizes a financial arrangement with Penrose. So that's where we are today. And then after that's over, then we can have our funding mechanisms in place to begin payments to vendors. And so the overall timeline, can we go to the next slide? So again, the application we submitted in November of 2022, it was approved in August of 2023. So right now we're undergoing an environmental review, which is required. OMB is administering this. We're expecting it to be done in November. And then after it's approved, then we can get funding. And additionally, design has started. We're trying to line everything up so we can get going, ASAP. So we're design will also be complete in November, and then once that's completed, then we can move into the construction phase, and that is slated to begin in December of this year, and then be done by March of 2025. And so the scope of the resiliency project, we're going to replace the mechanical and electrical equipment that was in 52 buildings of the campus that was primarily the ones that were flooded during Hurricane Ida. And so they would be replaced with 22 new boiler pods. These are going to be above grade so that they wouldn't be at risk of flooding in the future. And for group E, these would be on the roofs. And these pod sizes are between 200 and 300 square feet. The electrical equipment that's also in the basement would be moved, and then also trenching is going to be needed to connect the utilities from the buildings to the pods. We're also planning to install backwater valves at high-risk buildings to mitigate additional flooding. And the project will not impact any parking spaces or playgrounds. The pods are primarily going to be placed on open grass. And then we would also add additional security cameras and lighting just to maintain safety. And it's hard to see, but these are kind of what the pods would look like. They're just mechanical sheds. The next slide, which also is difficult to see, is just kind of a layout of where the pods go. And there's going to be 21 different ones laid out through groups A, B, C, and D, and E. And then we have a close-up. You can go to the next slide. So this pod, if you can see in the red box, it would be serving 4 buildings. It would be in the grass area next to the parking lot. And this would be located next to 390 Wilson. And it would serve 390 Wilson, 210 Palmetto, 200 Palmetto, and 191 Woodbine. And again, it would be raised about 2 to 3 feet off of the ground and be 8 by 20 or so. And then, yeah, that's kind of the general idea. And this is a slide of another pod that would serve another 4 buildings. It would be located next to a parking lot. And all the pods are going to be between 10 and 50 feet away from the closest building. So it shouldn't interrupt any of your daily activities. And this pod would serve 4 buildings. So this one is near 270 Wilson, 1280 Green, 1240 Green, and 289 Central. And then the next slide, employment opportunities. So during the PAC conversion, the project achieved 2 times the original projections of Section 3 hires. 2 residents continue to remain employed at the property from the PAC's project. The Preceda Construction Corp, which is will likely be the general contractor on the team, will work closely with NYCHA Reese and the community board leaders, local community workforce development organizations to provide OSHA training, which is Occupational Safety and Health Administration cards, to local Section 3 eligible and interested candidates. So the Preceda team would attend local community boards and career fairs and outreach events to identify individuals and firms and any MWBE subcontracting opportunities. So for this project specifically, we're projecting 8 new positions for Section 3 general labor. The experience requirements would be the 40 hours of the safety training that would be provided by Preceda. We need a valid New York State or New York City identification card, employment eligibility verification, must be at least 18 years or older, able to perform 8 hours of physical work each day, have proper construction attire, and the PPE will be provided, and any resume with prior construction work-related experience would be great. So this, I can circulate this, but this is an email address that would be directed to Preceda. My colleague was supposed to be here, but she's stuck in traffic. But she's Tanya Wilshire, and then the other contact is Annette Gonzalez, and this is just their phone number and email address, and we can have this circulated. So next steps on the project, we need to finalize design. So that would just be, approving the equipment, the final locations of the pods, what the utility requirements are, like the size of the pipes, where they'll be going, the security cameras for the outsides of the pods, the lighting, if there's going to be anything around the pods to make them a little bit better looking. And then we'll also continue environmental review and funding coordination with NYCHA and OMB. And then also, we'll work with the community board and NYCHA and PRESIDA regarding employment opportunities, and then hopefully begin construction in December. That's any questions?
Anyone has any questions? What I have a couple of questions before, I'll give it to you and I'll wait until the end. I'll let the board members speak and the people speak.
Hi, Virgie Jones. You mentioned employment opportunities. Can you be a little bit more specific as to what type of employment opportunity?
Yeah, they're general labor. So for construction, they're construction opportunities.
Anyone else? Please, wait. No. I need it.
Sorry. Millie Sandoval. I might have, this whole presentation might have went over my head. What are the pods? What are they supposed to do? I just.
Sure. So this is a resiliency project to address flooding among the buildings. So I think after Hurricane Ida, there was like $25 million of damage to the boilers in 40 buildings. And so residents didn't have heat or hot water. So this is going to provide a more stable solution to the flooding risk at Hope and Bushwick.
We also have, I want to thank the TA president here. I'm just want to speak in regards to the job opportunities.
Yep.
Let's make sure that they are from Bushwick.
Okay.
One, let's make sure that we want to hold you accountable when things don't work out right in regards to that, because the phase in regards to nitrous and how it's going now, it's not too good with us. Another thing that I'm really, the construction that's doing this job, is there going to be a checks and balance in regards to insurance and liability, and how long would that job be? Because I know when NYCHA had, or when the developer had fixing some of these apartments, it didn't look too good. So, you guys are not batting 100%. I know that for a fact. My question is there going to be a bond and make sure if something does occur that they can come back and fix it without any cost to the community or to taxpayers? Who is the contractor that's going to be doing it? Is he bonded and making sure that he has his due diligence and not somebody's friend, a Pinnacle or someone, Gumbari, coming in here and doing it? So we really need to make sure that this project gets done and done right, the right way, so we don't have to do it the third and fourth time like it's going on now in regards to the nitrous, in regards to the rad conversion that Bushwick houses have here. So we want to make sure that I don't get no complaint from the TA president saying that we're still flooding and you got a mechanism that's supposed to be working. Who's going to be responsible? Is there going to be a bond or an insurance to make sure how many years are you going to have? Because I know sometimes people get 30 years, 15 years on a project. So we want to make sure that our tax dollars go to where it's supposed to go, to make sure that you guys, we're giving you a letter of support, and this community board is giving you a letter of support for you to get the funding, but we want to make sure that we want to check and balance to hold you guys accountable. So when something happens, and come back to this board and tell us, one, if it worked, two, if it didn't work, three, you need money before time you build, and make sure your checks and balance, because all the time you guys come with a project and you take so long, everything costs so much money. Now you're asking for more and nothing gets done. So we want to make sure that we do it, because a lot of people, Bushwick was never a flooded area. All of a sudden it's flooded. So I want to make sure that everything is done when we write the letter, to make sure that we hold you accountable to what's going on in Bushwick, because we can't keep having this.
Yeah, and completely understand. And yes, the general contractor will have bonds and will have a warranty on the equipment. So all the concerns are noted and we'll definitely, continue to monitor as we get going through construction and after.
Wait. Where do you have contract? It was the contractor who was here?
And they did do a great job to begin with.
So I can take that back.
mean-
I was not here during that
Okay.
project. We haven't formally selected that. We're not allowed to formally select a contractor until, we have other approvals, but I can definitely inquire on that.
There was a lot of complaints from tenants because of perceived lackluster workmanship.
Okay, yeah.
So I would say look into that before you commit, because that's not gonna not gonna look good if they see that the same contractor that didn't do the right job before the first time are gonna be contracted again to do this project.
Okay, noted.
So
Thank
just
you.
keep that in mind.
Thank you. Anyone else? Kim on Zoom, Kim? Moving right along.
Okay, is our inspector on Zoom? All right, I know, I'm trying to give her the benefit. All right, so seeing as the inspector is not here yet, we will move on to the next public hearing item, which is El Puente. I believe Addison and Alyssa are here. All right. They're going to be providing an informational presentation on the People's Money, the first citywide participatory budget process and the results for Brooklyn and Bushwick. Welcome.
You gotta smile, man, hey. You gotta say, Puente presente.
We're here. This is for you. Let me give this a left one. Yeah.
No.
That's fine. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. So we're from El Puente. My name is Addison, and this is Alyssa. So she's our civic engagement coordinator. I'm the community coordinator here for El Puente Bushwick. And today we're going to be giving you a brief overview about the People's Money results. So I don't know if any of you were able to vote on the People's Money, which was like ideas that were going to be funded within Bushwick, which was $50,000 for Bushwick. So it was like this long piece of paper. We were out there for at least a month and a half trying to get over 4,000 votes for just Bushwick only. And the winning project is already announced. So we're just trying to, go into every community group, community event, in order to be able to outreach about this project. So.
If she's still talking, we can hear her.
No, she's not.
I'm
We're
not-
we're
Okay.
currently, yeah, thank you for checking in, folks. Sorry for the delay. And I just want to be very clear with folks, whenever you present before the board, we specifically request that you share your own presentations via Zoom because we are handling a lot on our end. I'm forwarding the presentation now to Kimberly so she can share it, but that's what the delay is. So thank you, folks. Just bear with us one moment.
Thank you, Celeste.
All right, so once again, my name is Addison Calle. I am community coordinator at El Puente. And my name is Alyssa Velez. I'm the civic engagement coordinator at El Puente. Thank you guys, and we apologize for the delay. So we're here to present today about the People's Money, the participatory budgeting process that's run out of the New York City Mayor's office. So next slide. Cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is participatory budgeting, what is the people's money, moving down into the different phases of PB, and then kind of announcing the winning project, explaining our implementation process, and then looking forward to the 2023-2024 cycle. Slide. All right. So what is participatory budgeting? So participatory budgeting was a process started in Porto Alegre, Brazil, and it was originally founded to ensure that community members had a direct say in how money is spent in their communities, as community members know exactly what's needed, exactly what and what money needs to be spent on. Next slide. That's right. Okay. All right. So the People's Money is the first citywide participatory process utilizing mayoral expense funding. Expense funding can be used for projects and services, and the citywide process allow all New Yorkers to participate regardless of the council district they live in, but also regardless of immigration status. Okay, specifically about Bushwick. So Bushwick was identified as a TRIA neighborhood by the Task Force for Racial and Economic Equity by New York City. And this resulted in an additional $50,000 that we used to implement a project right here in the community. So El Puente was chosen to be the outreaching partner for this Bushwick initiative. All right. So the phases of the People's Money, the first phase is the idea generation phase. The second phase is the project evaluation phase. The third phase was the citywide voting, and now it's the implementation phase. So idea generation happened between September 2022 and November of 2022. So this is where we did a number of activities, collecting ideas from Bushwick residents on projects that they would like to see implemented. Next slide. The project evaluations happened from December 2022 to February 2023, where the Bushwick Coalition evaluated submitted project ideas on equity and feasibility criteria and developed and selected the final project proposals to be placed on the ballots. So we had quite a few organizations sit on this coalition. Community Board 4, Celeste and Mr. Camacho were a vital part of that. So once again, we thank you all for participating. We had some of our elected officials, some other community-based groups such as BCP and Oya Group to really get a diverse idea of what the community would want. So out of that coalition, we came up with 5 ballot ideas that would show up on the ballot. So if you can look at the screen, on the right-hand side is an example of what the Bushwick ballot looked like. And they had ideas such as cultural cooking classes to connect elders and youth, women's period health to spread information, but also resources, mental and physical health resources to make sure that our community members know where exactly to get these resources, youth job and preparation and financial literacy, specifically for our young people in our local high schools, and youth civic engagement to ensure that community members know where to get engaged and how exactly it's accessible to them. So the voting phase happened from May 10th through June 25th. So just like I mentioned before, so residents 11 or older are able to vote regardless of immigration status. So we were out during this month and a half and we collected 4,153 votes for Bushwick. Yeah, so the winning project and our implementation was, so the winning project was mental and physical health resources. And this project is going to be funded until June of 2023. So it's a program to raise awareness and connect Bushwick residents to mental and physical health resources. And the aim is to start conversations around mental health and reduce stigma while supporting a person's overall well-being. So once again, we're going to be starting the 2023 to 2024 cycle. El Puente is the lead once more for this PB cycle. So the phase 1, the idea generation session will start beginning in early October. So just be on the lookout for that and you can come out, tell us your ideas and we'll have them all written down. So yeah. Yeah, and finally, we want to say thank you. Thank you for all of your support and we look forward to working together. Yeah, so right now we're going to be giving out some flyers about the winning project. So for Brooklyn and for Bushwick. So we're going to be giving that out. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions, board members?
Question, please.
All right. Any questions on Zoom? All right. I will just say for myself as a participant in this process, it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of great ideas. I think we had over 30 ideas that came to the group and we were responsible for narrowing it down to 10. And then from that 10, only 5 could really go through. We did a lot of discussing, how can we combine these? How can we take some projects that had nothing to do with one another, but make them a whole. And I have to one of the ones that I'm the most proud of, it related to community engagement, right? Civic education for students in schools. And it also had to do, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the other part, and with housing. So youth were concerned about housing and how they can educate, right? You know, friends, family members, neighbors about how to find affordable housing, but they also wanted to know more about civic engagement. So we said, why don't we have that be both the educational foundation component, and then we have them be able to be informed to go out and provide that housing information, to provide any type of information that they want once they understand, you know, the basic infrastructure of how the social infrastructure in a community. So it's really exciting to see all of those. I encourage everyone, please read more about it. Please get involved. These are your taxpayer dollars, folks. This is money for the community. So please make sure you know what's going on, get involved. So thank you to both Alyssa and to Addison. We really appreciate all your efforts.
A little play. We had a little play too, so it was so funny. And they always kept telling me, "You're gonna come over and give me some." You know, they laughed at my jokes. Y'all laughing, but they really did. Not only kidding. But we want to thank the young, and they were very good with us, and they did all the work, and we just sat there and watched them. So they did a wonderful job. Thank you.
All right, next we have our inspector here, Alexandra Sarubi. She's going to be giving her report now. She has another commitment this evening. I also want to remind all board members, if you've yet to sign in, board members sign in up here as the elected official representative. So please sign in so we can get ready for the first roll call after this. Inspector, whenever you're ready.
Hi, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? I see a lot of familiar faces, but there's one or two faces that I don't recognize, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Alexandra Sarubi. I'm the commanding officer of the 83rd Precinct, and a few people here from my team. I have the executive officer, Captain Luis Peña, and then I have community affairs officers Lopez and Gomez, and then crime prevention officer Prezano as well. I'm sure you guys know their faces and very familiar with them. I'll give a brief report of the crime statistics. And then unfortunately, I have another engagement. I have a couple of other meetings to attend, but I'll open the floor for any questions that anybody has. So I got to zoom in. I left my glasses over there. So year to date, we have an increase. So before I even talk about the numbers, I think it's important to point out that although we keep statistics, right, because that's how we learn if what we're doing, of how we're attempting to combat crime and how we're attempting to keep the community safe, that's how we learn if it's working, right? So that's one of the main reasons why we keep statistics. But at the end of the day, every number that we're talking about, that's a victim that we're also talking about. So the NYPD's goal, and I'm sure that that's the entire city's goal, is to have those numbers go to zero. So, and it's unfortunate that this is the way we talk about. This is the way that we have to keep stats on crimes. So for the year to date, we have a total of, when it comes to 7 major crimes, we have a total of 1,436 compared to 1,410. So that's a 1.8% increase. That's for the year. We also keep statistics on, I'm sorry that I'm giving my back to you guys. We also keep statistics on a 28-day basis. So that's every 4 weeks. And we also keep it on a weekly basis. So for the 28-day, we have 194 this 28-day period compared to the same period last year of 164. That's an increase of 30. And then for the week, we have 48 compared to 39, which is an increase of 9. So that's a 23% increase. The biggest increase that we've seen when it comes to year to date is the robberies, the felony assaults, and the grand larcenies. So how many people went to the, how many people attended the community council meeting yesterday okay, so not many. So I'll do a quick rundown of how we keep the stats. So the way we do it is when it comes to robberies, I just want to explain what the crime constitutes, right? So a robbery is when you're taking some kind of property from the person and you're using force, you're threatening force, or you are making the victim fearful that some force is going to be used. So that's considered a robbery. The difference between a robbery and a grand larceny, because during grand larceny, you could also be taking property for the person, right? Usually grand larcenies is with credit cards, right? You steal somebody's wallet and you use their credit cards. but it could also be from the person. So from the person, if I distract someone and I can steal something as simple as a pen or a pencil from the person's pocket and they don't realize it, because the property is being taken from the person, then that makes it a grand larceny. Okay, compared to petty larceny, where if the person leaves their or their pencil on the table, and then I come and I take the pen or the pencil later on, then that's petty larceny because it depends on the worth of that property. So it has to be over $1,000 to constitute a grand larceny. We see a lot of, although, you know, the 83rd precinct, we do keep crime statistics on transit, but transit itself, I'm sure everybody here knows that we also have transit districts, and they're responsible for patrolling the train systems. So a lot of the grand larcenies, when it comes to pickpockets and stuff like that, a lot of it happens in the trains and during in the train system itself. People are riding the train, they fall asleep, and somebody goes and, you know, grabs their wallet out of their handbag or something like that, or grabs their wallet out of their pocket. They're asleep, they don't even realize it. Grand larcenies also constitute when they're taking property from a store where the store is open, they go, they pretend to be, you know, a patron of the store, and then they steal property that's worth over $1,000. All right. So those are the biggest increases in crime. We also, felony assault is also another one. And that's, we've seen a big increase. So for robberies and felony assault is when, you know, obviously somebody gets assaulted with either some kind of weapon or they have some type of physical injury. We see a lot of them happen at night. And what I've noticed is it's a lot of times it's the people that are victims are these criminals, they tend to pick on people that they see as easy targets. So somebody that's maybe has gone out, you could tell that they've had a couple of drinks, but now they're not going to be able to give a good identification. So now when somebody calls 911, we respond, and they're not even going to be able to give us a good description, or people that they know are not going to fight them off when they try to take their property. So these are the victims that are of assault and robbery as well. The way we're combating that, the 83rd precinct, we do a lot of joint operations with other precincts as well. And we share information. We share information, get video, get pictures from wherever we can, whether it's from stores or from, from any of the homes that have those outside cameras. And we try to identify the perpetrators. We also work very well with the district attorney's office, because when it comes, especially with repeat offenders, we let them know, listen, this is the 10th robbery that they commit on a person, and this person got injured really bad. What can we do? And this is now up to the district attorney's office and the judges to determine whether or not bail is going to be set. So I just wanted to give a quick breakdown of how that is determined. I will, I know that there were a lot of questions yesterday for the community council meeting, so I'm going to assume that there may be a couple today. So I'll open the floor for any questions, and that way, I can use my time wisely. Any questions from anyone? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name's Edward Kopp. Thanks for joining us tonight. So just so you know, I'm a Navy veteran, and the kind of work I did on board a ship meant I was part of ship self-defense force. I mean, I basically was a police officer on the ship. I also stood a lot of shore patrol. So on shore patrol, there were two gentlemen, because it's the Navy at the time, myself and a partner and a stick. And we walked and we prevented things from happening. I, again, 5'4", 180 pounds now, with a stick, had to deal with drunk 6-foot+ Marines. So I don't really understand what the 311 system is. What I see happening is that there is no response whatsoever until there is a complaint via 311. When a patrol car is driving down the street and the music is so loud that they have to be able to hear it inside their car, why aren't they stopping? This is either a place of business or a motorist. Why am I seeing wheelies going down Myrtle Avenue from Knickerbocker to the train station? I don't see proactive policing happening. I only see reactive. So I'm a little confused about how 311 works and what your policies are for addressing things at the street block level.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. And second, there's a difference between 311 and 911, right? Everybody understands that. 911 is for an emergency and 311 are for quality of life complaints like noise conditions, traffic conditions, blocked driveways, things like that. I have to disagree with you. We do a lot of proactive work. Most of our proactive work is when we're identifying perpetrators and we see perpetrators that have committed crimes in the past, and now we're driving around and we see them. So that's a lot of proactive work. We do proactive work when it comes to saying, okay, these guys, they look like, this group of people that were, that have committed crimes in the past. Let's take a look. Let's talk to them. Let's see what's going on. But you're saying that there's no proactive work. Think about it this way. So the 83rd precinct has 4 sectors, right? Adam, Boy, Charlie, and David. We have 2 officers assigned to each sector, right? A car. So I would like you to assume that if that car is driving down the street, that they are on their way en route to respond to a 911 call, which takes priority over the 311 calls. Now with the 311 system, we have the telephone switchboard operator who sits with the desk officer, and we also call them the 311 coordinator. They have the 311 system up on their screen, and all the jobs that are coming in through 311, they're screening them. Every single officer, including myself, we have on our phones the 311 application as well, where I can see at any given moment how many 311 jobs we're receiving and whether or not they're answered out. So the way we do it is, right now, I'm looking at the app. We have 1 311 call. It's for residential noise, right? And this is in Sector Charlie. What happens? Sector Charlie right now is probably answering a 911 call. So it's not that we ignore it, is that we have to respond to those emergency calls first, and then we get to it. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a while, but we do get to them. We have the responsibility of making sure that we answer them. I monitor them. I want them to answer those jobs out on a timely basis. So we are monitoring them. But the 911 calls do take precedence, right? Someone calls 911 asking for help, whether it's, I just got robbed, or I just had I had a fight with my significant other and this person beat me up. We have to respond to that call first, right? These are crimes where people are being hurt, locations are being victimized or burglarized. So those are the jobs that we respond to first. We also, when it comes to 311, you mentioned people doing wheelies. We do take proactive measures in that. So the precinct has done numerous operations when it comes to the seizure of illegal scooters and dirt bikes and things like that. So there are certain vehicles that are not allowed to be driven. It's illegal to drive them on city streets. We do take proactive measures and we take those seizures. What you don't see, unfortunately, and that's my fault, is I don't do a good enough job to advertise all the good work that we're doing. I don't. We should be putting it up on Twitter. Sometimes we get so busy and wrapped up in the work that we're doing that we don't advertise that. And that's one thing that's on my to-do list. We have to do better with that. But we are doing proactive work. Your response?
I would just like to quickly respond and say I would respectfully disagree about your assessment of what your patrol cars are doing. So I walk this neighborhood every day, all the time. And when I was on duty, you're on duty. You're not reading a book. You're not chatting up the store clerk while you're getting food. You're not on your cell phone surfing. Okay, so
we have department cell phones, so they're not surfing. We're looking at our jobs. We receive the 311 jobs and the 911 jobs.
Intelligence.
Sir, I'm
I know
answering your
exactly
question.
what I'm looking at when I see somebody
Every single
using their
officer.
cell phone just hanging out.
Okay. Did you see what was on the cell phone? So you are, and you're sure? Okay. So you know the difference between a personal cell phone and the department cell phone? I'm asking you if you're so sure. Okay. And the chatting up with business owners, that's community policing. If all we did as officers was walk around militant and just answer jobs and never acknowledge any one of you as human beings, then we're doing something wrong. Our job is to make sure that the community,
Okay, okay.
Our job is to make sure that the community knows that we're here for you. And that is also getting to know you. A lot of the information that we get about the crimes that are being committed, about the quality of life concerns, we get that information from those chit chat conversations that you're talking about. The community is plays a key role in helping us do our job. So we have to have conversations with community members. So when you see us talking to community members, don't assume that it's always about, oh, I went on vacation here. When sometimes it's sharing information, and we're really big on that. As a matter of fact, Officer Gomez, Officer Lopez, and Officer Prozano are three perfect examples of people that constantly, right? And everyone seems to be nodding their head, so everyone agrees with me. Everyone agrees with me. They are perfect examples that they are community policing. They are communicating with the community, and they're getting information and they're giving feedback as well. Let me explain something to you. We are big on making sure that everyone is well educated and how they can prevent from being a victim. Officer Prozano does a great job in making sure that she shares information, how not to fall victim to any kind of phone scams, how to secure your property, how not to carry your bag, not to leave your bag in the back of a chair, how to make sure that when you sit at a restaurant, don't leave your bag hanging and it's behind you. Meanwhile, you're sitting down and you're having dinner. Put your bag on your lap, put your bag on the table so you don't become the victim of a crime. We're sharing information. We're not just chit-chatting. Is there a next question?
Yes, right here.
Hello, good evening. I'm Stephanie Anderson.
Good evening.
I wanted to ask, can any patrol cars with officers that are not dressed in uniform, do you have that where
No,
they
ma'am.
can actually catch somebody speeding or catch somebody doing all
No.
these things?
No, everyone's in uniform. Even my neighborhood safety team, they have their uniforms have been altered a little bit, but everyone's in uniform.
Well, I mean, could they be in uniform and wait for something to happen, or is that not
That's one of the things
because-
that we do where it may look like we're just sitting around, but we're watching.
Oh,
Yes,
come
ma'am.
on,
So
my
we do.
block.
We do.
That'd be
We
great.
do.
Thank
But
you.
I'll take some information from you later on.
Thank
You
you.
know, once I, yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Oh, she has one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Asai Polite. Thank you
Hello.
for being here today.
Thank you.
I know you started the conversation talking about metrics and statistics, and obviously we want to get crime down to zero, whether that's realistic or not. So my question for you is, within the 83rd precinct, are there any goals along the way of how much decrease you want to see in terms of percentage in crime?
The goal is to prevent crime from happening altogether.
Yeah, of course, but you know, we gotta get
And then
10%
each
down,
crime, so each
20%
crime obviously has to be, there's a plan for every separate crime, right? Because every crime, and even within each crime, there are modus operandi, right? There are the ways the crimes are being committed and the people that are committing these crimes. These are things that we kind of have to break down and figure out how we're going to attack it, right? So for example, I mentioned the robberies and the assaults. They're happening at nighttime, most of them, right? So it's one of those things where I shift my personnel and I have more personnel working at night. And what we do is we concentrate where are these crimes happening. So then I put them in the corridors where we've been taking these crimes. And then I'll give you an example. If I said that a lot of the victims are, a lot of the people that are being victimized are people that you can tell that they've been partying. We're sharing so much information with establishments that serve alcohol. One of my biggest concerns is letting the establishments know you have to be careful about over serving, because obviously now if somebody's stumbling out of a bar, they're an easy target, right? So the guys that are looking to rob people, they're like, this is the person. So it's about sharing information with the organization, sharing information with the other precincts as well, because don't think that the people that are committing the crimes in the 83rd precinct, that it only happens here, right? It's the same criminals. They'll go somewhere else and they commit them everywhere. As a matter of fact, one of the robbery patterns that we share is with the 104th precinct, where people are committing robberies within, and actually it was in a matter of like 2.5 hours where there were 3 robberies in the 104th precinct and 2 in the 83rd within a matter of a couple of hours. So it's about sharing information as well, and then figuring out our deployment tactics. So I'll give you a perfect example. We where we see people, where we see somebody and we may stop them, we may arrest them because they committed a crime in our precinct, and then we say, wait a minute, we think these are the same guys that committed this crime. We review video and we share the information with the other precincts and we say, hey, listen, remember that robbery that you guys took? Send us that flyer again. Show us with the picture. We think we got your guys that committed the crime in your precinct. It's about sharing information.
We have two more, one here, one on Zoom. What's Zoom first? No.
My name is Alicia Ruiz. I'm a community board 4. I live on Culver Street. You guys don't get enough recognition. I'm going to tell you and everybody that's listening, the 83rd precinct does a great job. You and your team do a great job. You cannot be at every crime. We got to understand that. But the whole team, I live on Culver Street. I got no complaint from the police. I don't care if they give me a ticket for double park, but they're doing their job. Whoever complains about this guy is wrong. Wrong. You guys are doing a great job. All my friends over there, they're doing a great job. I want to ask one question. Sector 2, you said there's only 2 cars for each sector?
Well, no, so we have sectors, we have 4 sectors in the precinct. So we
8
have
cars.
one car with 2 people in it. So that's probably where you got the number 2 from. We have 2 people assigned to every sector, for every shift.
So we only got 4 cars patrolling the area at this time?
It's not that we only have 4 cars. Those are the cars assigned to patrol the sectors themselves. But then, for example, right now, we also have the neighborhood safety team. The neighborhood safety team, per se, they're not really answering 911 jobs. They are the officers that are taking the proactive measures. They are the officers that are getting the guys that are committing the robberies and committing the shootings, where they're working jointly with other precincts and the field intelligence officers, where they're able to view video and ID who these perpetrators are and then arrest them. So they're the ones that are doing most of the proactive work because they're out there and that's their job. So we have them. We have the neighborhood coordination officers as well. So the neighborhood coordination officers, for example, today, right now, a lot of them are doing patrol because we also have details because of General Assembly. But the neighborhood coordination officers, when I do have a full house and I do have officers assigned to every sector, then they are they're a supplement to that sector themselves. And the neighborhood coordination, God bless you, the neighborhood coordination officers are the ones that are interacting with the community, trying to get information, attending these meetings as well along with me. They are conducting the Build a Block meetings, and that's a meeting. Who here has been to a Build a Block meeting? We have them every quarter for every sector, and that's another opportunity for everybody to share information. We post it on our Twitter feed, and if anyone here wants to be part of our email distribution list, just let us know. Community affairs officers, they'll take your information down, so that way every time there's a meeting, they'll just blast it out to your email. So neighborhood coordination officers do that as well.
We have one on Zoom, and then I'm going to make a last comment after the one on Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho. Good evening, everyone. Melissa Carrera Solano here with CB4. So I just have a question. I've been trying to get in contact with my NCO. Officer Lopez was kind enough to share the information, but after several attempts, I have not received a response. And usually I've had a pretty good relationship with my former NCO, Officer Legato, who till this day responds to my messages and my calls, but unfortunately, I have not been able to contact my new NCOs because I moved and was just wondering what would be the best way to get in touch with them. I've tried multiple attempts, calls, text messages, but have not received a response.
What are the names of the officers that you're trying to get in touch with?
Officer Charles, I believe. And I think there's someone else, but I haven't been introduced to the other.
So Officer Charles is part of NCO Boy, and his partner is Officer Banch. They're actually working today. They're covering the sector today. As soon as I get back, I'm going to tell him to make sure, I'm going to tell him to check his emails. Have you emailed or called him?
I've called him and I've texted him.
Is there a chat, Celeste? So maybe... Ma'am, if you don't mind giving me your phone number, and I'll call you right after I leave here on my way back to the precinct, and I'll make sure they get back to you right away.
Melissa, you don't have to share your number over Zoom. I can do that. I have the info here if you'd like. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to be the devil's advocate and say, we want the cops to do their job. But then some don't want the cops to do their job. So I wonder when is the checks and balance when they do their job and we give complaints for them to do their job because we get the complaints, then they get spearheaded because they did their job. So how is it that we here today saying that we want the officers to do their job? We want them to patrol. We want them to get out the car and we want them to say to whoever's doing something, what are you doing when there's a phone in their face? When social media took over the world now nobody wants to be a cop. You know the waiting list, we're missing over 8,000 officers. Nobody want to be a cop no more. Do you know that? Nobody wants to be a correction officer no more. Do you know that? So it's going to get worse before it gets better. So keep saying that you don't want the officers to do, or what is it that we want to do? I just don't understand. I'm going to give you an example. There was a lot of problems with these e-bikes and scooters and jumping on the street and people getting killed. And another old lady just got hit by a scooter and just died. They're illegal. You're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. You're supposed to operate the DOT law. Stop at a light. Yield to pedestrians, just like cars, right? All of us know. Everything I did when I was a kid, I got in trouble for. Now everybody's getting away with it. So I need to find out one question. If she's doing her job, why are we bad-mouthing and bashing them? Now, if there's officers not doing their job and doing what they're not supposed to do, then we can go after them. They're not with you. But we get complaints. We have to address these complaints, just like the gentleman said. But with this phone, the officers harassing this young man because I'm going to tell you the truth because I see it all the time. The officer's doing this. He stopped this guy because of this. He had no reason to, but you don't know why. But yet the phone got, and the pictures got something else. And it breaks my heart that we worked so hard to shape up Bushwick the way it was. I've been here when nobody wanted to live here. So don't tell me about stop and frisk. Don't tell me about that. Every day I was stopped and frisked because I look like somebody. All right? So don't tell me about that. I don't want to hear that. I'm 62 years old. I'll be 63. And my father said I won't make it past 14. I beat all odds. But my question is not this. What is it that we want them to do? All of y'all, what is it we want? We want them not to do crime? I'm with it. You know why? I've been there. Or we want them to help and work with us and guide and teach our people. Why is it that we got to teach someone that has an illegal bike that they got to get a license? Guess what? This same person that they took the bike from bought another bike 2 weeks ago. You mean to tell me he didn't know that it was illegal to ride it when he already took his bike? It was illegal. 2 days later, he goes right by them with the same bike. And then you want them to stop them and take them. I just don't understand it. I think I'm in the wrong world. But we really need to support them and stop criticizing them and work with them if you want them. If you don't want them, I'm with you. But guess what? Later on, don't complain when something happens. So we need to work together. There's bad apples in every one of us in our family. I got them. So let's weed the bad ones out and let's make sure we do the right thing. But I want to thank you because it's not easy to stand up here and people criticize. The first Latina woman we had in the A3 precinct. We got all Latinas. We got a council. We got a Senate. Come on, man, what's going on here? But if it was a dude, nobody come out and turn up. You're laughing, I'm serious. So let's do what we gotta do. Let's stop all this bickering because the kids see it. I went to an interview with this young kid that just shot someone. And he was sitting down and the police, 2 detectives were interrogating him. Do you know what he did? He stood standing up. up to the thing, put his leg on the table, and told the two detectives, I'm not saying nothing. He said, F you. He said, you suck my beat. And the detectives asked him, I don't care, I've been here before. So what the guy did, they had to let him go. And he just killed someone. And he's the young kid, 17, they know. Because we're teaching them this. Instead of them doing the right thing and taking care of our kids and our youth, we had a shooting in 120. Nobody talked about that. Bullets all over the hall. Imagine a baby coming out to development. Imagine your mother, your father, your grandmother, your sister. There's holes through the wall at 120. Go see. We had a killing on Martin Bushwick in the gas station. Y'all didn't see that one either? We had killings constantly. So when we're going to say enough is enough, we're no longer in the 70s and 80s. When are we all going to get together and start criticizing and step up to the plate? Thank you.
I just want to thank you, Mr. Camacho. I wanted to add a couple of things. I welcome and encourage conversations, right? Unfortunately, with the thank you. With the hello? Yes, better. With the age of technology and social media, it's easy to assume when you see an officer that we're just kind of, I guess, scrolling through social media. But please understand that technology does make our job easier, right? Because before we would have to get on the radio and keep asking Central, try the callback, Central. Now we have all that information at our fingertips. So right now I can tell you what my officers are doing. Right now, we're in the middle of responding to 13 911 jobs. I can tell you how many jobs each sector is handling at the moment. I can access here. So if you guys ever see me on my phone, please believe that I'm either on the 911 app, on the 311 app, I'm looking at an email or responding to a text message from one of you guys. Everything is at our fingertips. It helps us do our job. It keeps us safe because when we get these 911 calls, so I can go to any call and when I click on it, it'll tell me the history. Who the offenders are that have been part of those types of 911 jobs at that address, whether or not anybody's wanted. That helps keeps our officers safe because now they know, okay, I'm responding to an apartment, maybe some kind of domestic dispute where the perpetrator who on the 911 call, the girlfriend is saying, oh, you know, my boyfriend just beat me up. But imagine if this guy is wanted on a homicide, but my cops don't know about it. What are they walking into? So it is their responsibility before they walk into that apartment to look at their phone, educate themselves more about who's in the apartment. What are they calling about? We get the whole story right here. We get the whole story right here. Sometimes they give us an address and we respond to the address and nobody's there. Most of the time, we have the person's phone number right here. So instead of now asking Central Radio to try to call the callback, we call the callback ourselves. And we say, hey, ma'am, did you call 911? Where are you? We're trying to meet up with you. Where are you? We don't see you outside the building where you told Central you were going to be. Have a conversation.
I have someone on
that has a
Zoom
question.
that has a question and wants to.
Yep.
Go ahead, Barbara. You're muted. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, everyone. This is Barbara Smith. I'm a Community Board 4 member, and I'm also the president of the 83rd Precinct Community Council. I hear all of this here that you're saying. Okay, some is good, some is bad. We have a precinct council meeting every month, the third Tuesday. All of these concerns you have here that you're talking to the inspector about, you could bring them to the precinct. And you guys know me. If I hear something going on with my officers, I'm going to speak on it to the inspector. Don't think I'm just there just to be like a lamppost. I've lived here in Bushwick. I've been here all these years. I do not go from one side of the rope to the other. If something's going on with our officers, I try to work it out as much as possible with the inspector or the officers. So all of these questions and things you're throwing at the inspector tonight, come and bring them to the 83rd precinct. We had a meeting last night. You can't forget it. It's the night before the board meeting at 6:30 in the precinct, so you could see our officers. You might get a chance to see your NCO officer. Since they're not answering your phone calls, come to the precinct. The precinct is an open door building. You can come. It's not like you got to make an appointment. You can't be scared of coming in the precinct, because if you call 911, you're not scared if the cops come for you to help you out. And all of you guys, half of the people in this room has my phone number. Because through COVID, I didn't have a meeting, so I gave my phone number out to everyone. You can call, you can leave a message. Something's going on, I can connect you with the officers, the NCO, and the inspector. So whatever problems you have, guys, bring it to us so we can fix it. You can't live on one side of the street and look at the other side and it's all messed up. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Inspector, we have the.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. I just wanted to say one more thing. So, Ms. Melissa had mentioned earlier that she couldn't get in touch with, neighborhood coordination officers. You better believe they're gonna hear it from me. That's a problem. That's a problem. If she's been calling the right phone number and she's been sending emails to the right email address, that's a
Yeah.
problem. The first thing I'm gonna do is go back and say, what are you doing? Why are you not responding to emails? Why are you not returning phone calls? That's a problem. So if there's ever any issues like that, let me know. Let me know. I will address it and I will fix it immediately. We all have a responsibility. We all took an oath to protect and serve. So if there's ever a time when my officers aren't squared away and aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, please let me know. I'm constantly watching them. I'm on this 911 app and I'm seeing how long have they been on this job. I'm listening to the radio and I'm looking at the app and I make a move. I make a move. I make them work. You know, we all took, that's our responsibility. So
Thank-
please,
thank you.
everybody can take my phone number down. I'll give it out, 917-370-4725. Again, that's 917-370-4725. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to speak here today. My door is always open. My phone is always on. If I do not answer, please leave me a message, send me a text message, and I will get back to you. I'm either in the middle of a job or in the middle of a meeting. I will return your call. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I also have someone, State Senator Julia Salazar wants to speak, and she has something. I don't know, she has a surprise, but I'm not gonna say what surprise because I don't want to blow it.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho. Good evening, everyone. I am Senator Julia Salazar. I represent New York's 18th District, which includes all of Bushwick and the State Senate. First of all, before I use my little bit of time to present an award to someone here, just want to make sure everyone, if you don't already have our contact information, our district office is right in the middle of Bushwick, not far away at 212 Evergreen, near Evergreen and Myrtle. Our district office phone number is 718-573-1726, and I'll also leave some cards at the front. But this evening, I am delighted to have the opportunity to present an award. It is called the Luis Nine Award. Luis Nine was a Puerto Rican assemblyman who represented Latino communities in the Bronx in the 70s and 80s. But this is an award that is presented by the New York State Association of Black, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Asian legislators annually to an individual who has demonstrated extraordinary service to particularly Latino communities. And I want to present this award. This year, I nominated our Community Board 4 District Manager, Celeste Leon.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Congratulations.
I don't need to tell any of you, but I will anyway. What an extraordinary leader Celeste is, and also a servant leader. She does it without an ego. Celeste is someone who has taught me about constituent services. She has done it diligently for years. She is all about not only providing direct service to everyone in our community, not just our Latino communities, of course, but to everyone who lives in Bushwick. But also, she does it in a way that empowers people to be able to advocate for themselves. And if that were not enough, Celeste also, she really is committed to the leadership development of fellow district managers in the city and making all of our community boards work better. And encourage more, civic engagement in general and participation in our community boards. So Celeste, I couldn't be just happier to present this to you.
Wonderful.
A very short speech. I have to say, I from the best, and the best is everyone that's in this room. The best of the board members that have moved to other areas because they're not in Bushwick anymore, whether by choice or because they can't be here. Best of the board members, and the folks in Bushwick that unfortunately are no longer with us. The best are all the leaders in Bushwick. I would not be here without those people being here first. I can only do what I do now because of everybody that came before me and everybody who continues to show up, even though it's difficult, even though it's hard, even though we're tired, we're so very tired, we're ready to pass that baton. But I am here because of all the people that care about Bushwick. And when I think about, times like this, and I don't usually share a lot about, who I am, but I'm also from this community, right? And I think, I'm thinking about my grandparents, my grandfather, Mr. Camacho, talks about him often, but just, he's not with us anymore, but I know he would be very proud. He was here when Bushwick was a hard place, and my grandmother, and for my family that can't be in this neighborhood anymore. That is why I do what I do, because you are all my family, and thank you very much.
No, this is the first time I see Celeste cry, man. She's just happy. We're going to roll call. But before we do a roll call, I want to read out, we're calling this meeting to order. This meeting of the Community Board 4 is called to order on September 20 at 6:15, the applicable status of New York State, the City Charter of New York, the Board of Bylaws, and Robert Rules of Order. The board policies is to encourage detailed discussion of the matter before the board at our committee meetings and at public hearing, consequently except by the board members. There will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meeting of the matter about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held. Special service deliveries requests or complaints should be brought up in attention to the district office staff by calling the board's office 718-628-8400 on business hours or email or visit the website at any time. And we're gonna hold our first roll call.
All right, board members, please be ready. And again, a reminder for folks in person, board members, if you have not signed in, please come up to the front and sign in. Also, any elected official reps that have not signed in up front, please sign in up front. I'll give board members here a few minutes just to sign in really quickly. Thank you. All right, board members on Zoom, please be ready. Isa Abni.
Present.
Stephanie Anderson, present in person. Joanna Bennett, present in person. Joshua Brown. Eva Brown Eileen, present in person. Raul Brown, present in person. Robert Camacho, present in person. Melissa Carrera Solano. Felix Ceballos, present in person. Christian Celeste Tate, present in person. Andrew Choi, present in person. Alvina Davis, present in person. Jasmine de Santiago Diaz. Cecilia Fabian. Freddie Fowler. Joanna Fuentes is excused. Christopher Graham, present in person. Ann Guiney, present in. Zachary Hendrickson, present in person. Tanisha Honeygan. Barbara Jackson, present in person. Kaishia Johnson. Fergie Jones, present in person. Tara Jones Thomas is excused. Oh, okay. All right, you made it. All right. Perfect. Gotcha. Luisa Jose. Nicholas Kaplan, present in person. Edward Kopp, present in person. Cassandra LeVay is excused, I believe participating remotely as well. Christine Malden. Raman present in person. Mary McClellan. Monroe. Zuma Navoa.
Present.
Thank you. All right. Levi Orenstein Wolf. Caitlin Penner, present in person. Asire Polite. Thank you, present in person. Raul Rubio. Eliseo Ruiz. Present in person. Milagro Sandoval. Thank you, present in person. Thank you. Thank you. Bernadine Shell. Barbara Smith.
Present.
Thank you. Maria Soler. Present in person. Dustin Somborn. Present in person. Annette Spellin is excused. James Stewart. Present in person. Jessica Tibercio is excused. Ben Tucker. Present in person. Jerry Valentine.
Present.
Shoshana Wade. All right. Do a quick tally.
Hi, Celeste. It's Tanisha. Sorry, I just got changed over to panelist just now.
Oh, no
I'm on the
problem,
call.
Tanisha. Thank you. Anyone? Now's the time before we do the tally. Any other board members?
Hi, Celeste. It's Melissa. I'm here. Just
Gotcha.
wanna
Gotcha.
confirm.
Melissa. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thirty-three board members present. That constitutes quorum. Thank you, everyone. We will now move on with the acceptance of the agenda. Is there a motion from the board? Oh, Barbara Jackson makes a motion. Second by Felix Ceballos. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Agenda item number 3, acceptance of the previous meeting minutes. Motion from the board. Zachary Henderson made a motion. Is there a second? Oh, Alvina Davis, just because I heard the name. Seconds. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. And agenda item number 4, Mr. Camacho's report.
I'm not gonna tell you I got a 7-page thing. I'm only kidding. I only got 3, but I'm gonna go real quick. Come on, come on, come on. Be happy I go to these meetings. Y'all not even on. Why y'all not there? All right, come on. Then y'all need to. All right, I'm only kidding. Only the highlight. I'm highlighting everything. How's that? June 22nd, 9 a.m., 15 Metro Tech. The cannabis, you know, we're getting 2, right? We already have 2 already. Me and Celeste went over to Governor Hochul when they were giving the cannabis. June 23rd, 2 p.m., CB4 office, block party, signing signatures on block parties. 26 at 6 p.m., the cab, the Woodhull cab, type 2 diabetes, health, herbs, and plant-based diet programs that are there now. On June 27, Tuesday, 11, CB4 staff meeting. June 29, Thursday, block party, summer, back to summer. Thank you to Borough President Antonio Reynoso for donating money, Ujima Cooper Street Block Association, the A3 Precinct U, and the A3 Precinct Council. Thank you guys for the summer bash for the youth, Knickerbocker and Manaham and Wilson. June 30th, 1 p.m. CB4 meeting with Riseboro. I know we've been getting a lot of complaints about Riseboro. We're supposed to be having a meeting with them. Hopefully we can address some of the issues and concern that some of the people have been sending to the office. We know they're CBOs and we love them very much, but if they're not doing what they got to do, we got to do what we got to do. On July 8th, Saturday at 2 p.m., I went to the art show with our arts and culture chair at 1229 Willoughby, second floor. He'll also fill you in on the art that was in there at the present time. July 12th, CB4 10:30 District Service Cabinet meeting at that same day from 3 to 5. El Puente follow up on the people's money. July 13, 11, Harmony Day, A3 Precinct. Me and Celeste got an award that day. The A3 Precinct, that same day at 6:30 to 8. We went to Gracie Mansion, Hispanic Heritage Month. They were giving, wasn't too happy. Puerto Rican Heritage, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I even forgot what it was, but yeah. That's so many meetings I go to. July 14 at 10 a.m., the RAD Home Garden. We still have issues in RAD. We got to help our tenants. I know we're working with our elected officials in regards to some of the concerns our tenants having in regards to nights, are making sure that they get the apartments ready and come by and certify them so they could get the money. It's a big problem there. So people are waiting, the apartments are waiting, are fixed, and people are standing waiting for downsizing and upsizing when NYCHA is not sending people out and making sure that they kept well and done right to sign off and give them keys. So we're having issues with that. So between property management and NYCHA, so it's July 17, 6 p.m. This I have to report this. July 17 at 6 p.m. Borough Hall meeting, no quorum. No quorum, guys. You believe if I had no quorum here, you think I'll be holding a job? We need to have quorum. July 19 at 10 p.m. Bushwick and Willoughby, there was a press conference with PLC in regards to them trying to demolish them homes, beautiful homes on Bushwick Avenue, man. Something's gotta get done. We can't get rid of them homes, man. This is like getting rid of old timers. We can't give old timers, they're always with us. So all them homes are so beautiful in Bushwick Avenue, man. Antique 1800s. So we were fighting, we had a press conference with PLC. July 24th at 12, CB4 meeting with Assemblywoman Marissa Davila and SLA. Everybody know what's going on with the SLA. It's a money activity. July 24th at 2 p.m. CB4, the EEPL briefing session. We getting audited. You know, we get audited every 4 years. So I don't know how our audit looks when we don't got no staff. So I don't know if it's gonna look good or not. Don't blame me. We ain't got no staff. We also wanted to get an employee, and we on an E-list. It's called Eventually. We don't know when we're gonna get it, but he's coming. So I'm sorry I have to say that, but that's what's happening. There's too much red tape. Instead of OMG going to HR, then you go to the borough. And then the borough didn't get this paper signed, and then we sign this paper, then you give it to OMG. OMG, see, you gotta do something else. And Celeste's on the phone for 45 hours and still nothing get done. So we're still waiting to even hire our part-timer that we wanted to hire. But like they said, it's on the E-list, like I told you, Eventually. July 24th at 5:30, the new Office of Community Resist. We did a ribbon cutting. Yo, they got an awesome office, man. I want to move over there to your office, man. 1420, July 25 at 1 p.m. We met with the manager of RAD in regards to complaint about rents. They're paying one rent. When they get their receipt, is more than what they pay. So I don't know who's doing the math there. July 25th at 2:30, meeting with the mayor's office, Ray Carrero. July 20th at 10, we had a meeting with a councilwoman, Sandy Nurse, CB4 and Parks. You know that there's supposed to be a proposal in regards to dog run in parks. But I hope that this board would work and make sure that the people that live around that area are part of that, because they're saying they want to see the play area fixed and they don't want them spending a $2.6 million or $3 million on a dog park. But that's the people over there, Horsey Park. July 28th from 11 to 1, Audrey Johnson. Ken, thank you. We tabled over there, Audrey Johnson. Me and I was there working. July 28th from 12 to 4, IS 291, 231 Palmetto. There was a fair I went to. July 29th, Cooper Street, a health fair, graffiti removal. 9, the 8-3 precinct with Ujima, 10 to 12, Horsey Park cleanup. This is all in one day I went, July 29. I broke myself up to 4 different activities. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. July 1st, 1 p.m., CAU walkthrough on Wyckoff and Hart. 3 p.m., the 8-3 precinct National Night Out. Thank you, Barbara Smith. Did a wonderful job. August 2nd, 12 on Zoom, a task force with Marissa Davila in the SLA meeting. August 3rd, CB4 check-in with applications of block parties. We still having them. I got to go to the office Friday. Celeste already told me to sign off on block parties. People still having. August 8th, CB4 PLC committee. August 9 at 10 o'clock, CB4 District Service Cabinet. August 9, 1 p.m. Grove. The governor's office, we met with the governor's office, Lewis, Celeste will fill you in, said if we need things or something, hopefully we're gonna find out, see if he can fix us and get us an employee. I don't know how true that's gonna be, but August 9 from 4 to 6, we was in a Congresswoman, she had a flood zone at 195 Linden. Thank you. She gave out rain barrels on that day. August 11 at 10, RAD meeting. August 12, Saturday, I went to 966 Bushwick, the church, Clairvaux, from 12 to 6. August 15, Marissa Davila back to school bag giveaway at 480 Knickerbocker, 482, 484, 484 Knickerbocker. That's the church that's there. August 16, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Town Hall. Wireless towers. We have to be careful with this. I was on a Zoom meeting with them and they were indicating that they want to put those towers, but that they want to see if they could put them in people's personal backyards. I don't know if that's right, but I know they gave us a fright and I don't know how is that possible. Hopefully we're going to speak with our Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez and find out what's in regards to that wireless towers that they want. And also at 6:30, I got on Zoom with the IBX Town Hall. August 17 at 5:30, CEC 195 Armor Street. From 3 to 5, IS 291, back to school bag giveaway. We were tabling that day. It was hot. Thank you for one of the new board members that came with me.
Aisha Johnson.
Mrs. Johnson, thank you. We were out there all day. The best, thank you. August 18th from 11 a.m. CB4 interview. We're interviewing. We had 2 people. We had 2 people to interview. We had 5. We had 5 people only filled for the position. We had 2 people we interviewed. We haven't decided yet. We'll let y'all know as soon as we pick one, but we want to make sure that they're on the payroll before we say we got it, because I don't know what's going on with OMB and HR. August 18th from 11 to from 10 to 2, I was the Woodhall Stop the Violence. They gave bag giveaway on August 19th, Saturday, a family day, Hope Garden. They had a beautiful time. I received an award from them at 11 o'clock. Went with a Councilwoman Sandy Nurse. She was doing a bag giveaway on Thomas Moreland Park. And she also witnessed in the new area that's supposed to be grassed, dog feces there, so she was a little upset. I went to the Martha Street Block Association party. I went to Chauncey Block Association on August 19th, Saturday, Make the Road. I also went to Make the Road. They had a bag and stuff giveaway from 11 to 3. So that day I went to 5 activities and broke it up. I was beat that day. I didn't even get up the next day. August 21st, CB4 Environmental Protection Sanitation Committee, August 23rd, 1 p.m. CB4. We interviewed the second person, August 20, that was the 23rd, 24th at 11. Brooklyn North book bag giveaway on Wilson, the 083 precinct. So them kids in Bushwick can't complain. We had so many bag giveaways. Everybody, I think Bushwick must have got the whole, had to be. There's nowhere in the world nobody got short with bags. You didn't get none, but you're not a kid. August 25th, 1 to 485 Palmetto Family Day. August 26th, Saturday from 11 to 1, 195 Linden. Teamwork. We did the teamwork here. I know we had a nice party here. Y'all wasn't there. Y'all wasn't invited, but whoever came, let them know we had a nice party. Ujima from 12 to 3, she also had a bag giveaway in 299, the playground, I had 299. On Sunday from 2 to 4, I went to Bushwick Star. From 1 to 5, I went to Highland Park, the bag giveaway with Councilwoman Sandy Nurse again. On Wednesday, September 6th, CB4 Executive Board. On Thursday, the 7th, a meeting was Zoom with community board chairs and our Senator Salazar, Julia Salazar, and the SLA chairs. We're trying to figure out how can we take care of the saturations of they're giving liquor license, but we can't get churches open. So I don't know how that's happening. At 3 p.m., a meeting in Zoom with the 83 precinct, both councilperson, Congresswoman Neda Velasquez, and there's also Assemblywoman Marissa Davila. And then on Friday, the 8th, the Borough Hall consultation, we had from 9 to 5. It was a long day that day. Monday, the 11th, for 1 p.m., a meeting location. We met at the location at 455 Jefferson. I told you about all that, and we read in the papers. That's absolutely not true. From April to September, the inspector has been educating them and giving them flyers in Spanish and in English. That is against the law to ride those gas up and down at 3, 4 in the morning. So they went and they took some. An officer was assaulted. A sergeant was assaulted and punched in the face. An officer was bitten in the back by the people at 455 Jefferson, the people that we are helping and serving. So we have to remember, they assaulted an officer. So I hope that anybody that lives in Bushwick, and I pray that if anyone that assaults an officer in Bushwick get the same repercussion as this guy that was let go, that was an immigrant here and came to get service, and we get him, and he assaulted an officer doing his job, and he tried to hop on that motorcycle, and he punched the officer in the face. So remember, what's good for the geese is good for the gander. Because when I was a child, and I remember all you old timers here, all your old time board members, when I was doing my due diligence out there, y'all took me by the arm and brought me here. All right? And when my brother's in and out of that jail for doing the same thing that they were doing and we were doing back in the day, and he's in jail now, nobody helping him now. So let's not go backwards. Let's go forward. And they do need help over there. And it's sad. On the 30th, the 28th, they all got to move out. Imagine you being here, getting a job, and now you got to move out, go where to start the process all over. Now we got new people that we got to educate, and they're organizing. One, they're organizing in good, and two, they're organizing in bad, I heard. Because they aren't vetted. And there's a lot of those guys that are trinitarios, they told me. So we have to be careful. You have to be very careful. I know a lot of people are calling the office, but don't take laws into your own hands. You gotta be careful. When I went there, I had one guy tell me that if he needed a bodyguard, guy had more gold than me. He just got here. Brand new sneakers, $200 sneakers. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. We need to make sure. I know we're holding a meeting with our councils and all our elected officials to make sure, one, we service them. Two, we give them whatever they need to do to make their lives a little better, because not everybody is bad. Since you're echoing that, I want to do both. Not everybody's bad. Not everybody coming here to work, and not everybody's good. So we got to do the balance routine. On the Wednesday, the 13th, at 10 District Service Cabinet. On Thursday, the 14th, CB4 Civil Public Safety Religions. On Saturday, the 16th, I went to ACE Integration Hispanic Heritage Month. Had a beautiful time. The kids were waving their flags. On Monday, Saturday, 18th, at 9:30, borough consultation, second round. And Tuesday, the 19th, at 6 p.m., Borough Community Board Consultation Chairs Workshop. Antonio Reynoso hold a workshop for all the chairs and all the vice chairs. And I invited our district manager. I didn't know it was only for chairs and vice chairs. And obviously, Antonio told her she couldn't be there, and I said, well, since my district manager can't be there, neither can I. It says on his agenda, it says to fulfill vacancies. So my question is, I don't fill vacancies. I work with the district manager to allocate good workers, that she's the one that's working with them and they're union members. So what she wants and she needs, we're supposed to vouch for it. Interview tips. So I wasn't too happy with this, and I know our first vice chair stood there. I said if he wanted to stay, he's gonna stay there. If my district manager, all I want her is to sit in and to listen, because she's the one that needs the training too, because tomorrow if I'm out of here, somebody else will come in, right? So I guess I walked out and they didn't like the idea of me walking out, but I'm gonna support my district manager because I work with her here and she works with us. On that same day, I went to the 8th Precinct Council. It was a little just like it is today, but we really need to work and make sure we short officers. Nobody wants to be a cop now anymore. Too many things going on, too many lawsuits, too many problems. So they don't want the headache. They prefer going to the private sector. And mind you, top pay after 5 years is $130,000, and they don't want it. Think about that. 100, I never made that in my life. Wednesday, September 20th, I went this morning to the clergy. I've been getting so many prayers, so I'm so happy, but I think they need more prayers than us, because as you know, our churches are the pillars of this community. And we really need to raise our churches up and make sure that I'm not a church person, but we got to make sure that we keep the people that are doing the right thing and doing the work for us. And I know, Miss Avina Davis, I know you do. You have your own church, and you know, sometimes we need that little prayer and help, especially more than ever now. And I know we went to the luncheon today at 11:30. CC had a luncheon, district manager, district office, and today the CB4 meeting. And that is my 3-page meetings. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Mr. Camacho? Board members, oh, I see a hand. One moment, wait for the mic.
I just want to ask the question in regard of the towers on this area. My question is, if they want to put the towers on the people's backyards, are they getting paid?
I don't know. I know that we went to the meeting. There was attorneys talking. I know it's supposed to be voted on. I don't know what it is that they're voting on, but I don't know if they are or they aren't, but we really, there needs to be a survey in regards to that because you don't know if cancer, you don't know, we really don't know. So I know, I know were you on there?
I was not, I heard.
This is our chair from
Hi, I'm Dustin Sonneborn. I'm the chair of the Arts, Culture and Technology Committee. I haven't heard anything yet of this in the backyards thing. I have heard that I think there's a moratorium or supposed to be a moratorium on new towers going up from the FCC, from the federal government, said that all the new towers need to go through a environmental review and a historic preservation review. I have read reports that the city and City Bridge are still trying to build some, but I have not gotten confirmation on either of those things. The thing about the backyards is all news to me tonight. I haven't heard anything about that. So that's all I know.
I live in the area and I'm a house owner. So these things, I do take them in consideration because it could be me. At the same time, I have done real estate before and I know there's some loopholes that they come and if they got it right, they can take part of my property. So I don't know.
Yeah, because there was a little concern about that too. A couple of people that were in the meeting. I think there was like 125 people on that Zoom meeting. And there were attorneys for some of the people that do own homes and they seen that there were loopholes in regards to the contract. So we don't know yet until they do it. So I'm not too sure.
If you don't mind, just introduce yourself so people know who you are.
I am so sorry. I'm Cecilia Fabian. I'm here a board member for District 4, and I am joining the Art and Culture Technology Committee. And today I went to my first meeting for Youth and Education, which it was a major. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like take the mic on this one simply because I just went there. And I was with, let me get my glasses, with Rebecca Lozado, with Dr. Rebecca Lozado. And this was really awesome for me because I just met with the New York Academy of Medicine up on 103rd. And I was part of this research that they're conducting, which include us all, especially me, mom, part of the community, children's growing into my community. And definitely as a part of this community, the family's gotta be involved. The children's gotta be involved. It just cannot come from the top, it's gotta come from the bottom. So on this part, I'm into it. And it just so happened that the meeting is at one of the schools that my child graduated from, and he's at TSU in Texas. And I am a product of the education that we carry here, as long as the parents get involved. If the parents don't get involved, the kids don't care. And then if the kids are not involved on something good, then nothing is happening in our community. There was just a shooting right on my block not too long ago. I have
Thank you, Cecilia.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, I know. Thank you. We appreciate you and welcome to the board. Glad you're able to be here this evening and to also attend the CEC meeting. All right, I see Zuma and then Rowena in person. Zuma, go ahead.
Yes, hi there. Good evening, everyone. I apologize for not being at this meeting in person, which I was looking forward to. And thank you, Mr. Camacho, for your wonderful presentation, like always, very detailed. Concerning these towers and everything from a health perspective, I don't know if many of you know about the EMF radiation that actually these towers do send out. It is very critical that the community is fully aware of these wireless signals. There is research that has already been indicated. And remember that many of these services are scrambling to provide the service and take any nook and cranny they can within the community to extend the services out there. But with those services as well, these are two-way radio communication. These are waves So there is research out there, and I really, really suggest for the community to really look deep into the EMF exposure and radiation before you start jumping on a great opportunity, we get paid and everything, because there has been studies done. So I'm throwing that out there because I'm seeing them pop up everywhere. I am not a fan. I'll be quite honest. I will not live near one of those things. If I have to and it's near my backyard, I'm leaving Bushwick, just because there's research that is being shown. We are in a very cramped area. Brooklyn is extremely populated. So keep that in mind. And if you're not fully aware, there is, again, the research out there. We're going to see the outcomes years from now, what this may done or what it may do to us. So I am so on this, but before you do any agreement, please take the initiative as part of the Health and Service Committee members, look into that. So I'll mute myself now. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna? You need the mic for them to hear on Zoom. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Mr. Camacho regarding that, the towers thing. Dustin didn't know about that meeting. I didn't know about that meeting. Evidently, the information did not filter down to the Art, Culture, and Technology Committee. So when you get this information, if you would share it with us, and perhaps we can be able to get a little bit more information to the community board. Sorry, we just didn't know about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. I'll double check. I know I tend to forward certain things just to the committee chairperson. But I don't always send it to the committee because we get quite a few of those, like about 10 per week. And so I don't want to always overwhelm folks. So at the discretion of the board chair or the committee chair, I'll usually forward additional info. But moving forward, I'm happy to flag any other hearings on this particular topic. All right. Any other questions? Last call, Mr. Camacho's report. Seeing none in person, nothing on Zoom. We will now move on to the introduction of elected officials. I know we have a few folks here this evening. If you can please just come up and grab the microphone. Mr. Camacho will bring it to you. If you want to stand in the middle, line up like we used to. And then folks on Zoom, please raise your hand so I know you're on Zoom. And Jonathan, I'll let you go ahead and kick us off.
Good evening, Jonathan Bancourt from Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez's office.
Next. Sounds good. So, yeah, yep. Sorry, multitasking over here. Go ahead, Juan, and then Yvette.
Community organizer for Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez.
If folks are dropping their info in the chat, just a reminder that people in person do not have access to the chat right now. So if you don't mind just saying, moving forward, just saying your contact info as well. We appreciate it. Thank you. Yvette, you're next.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Yvette Lopez. I am the Communications Director for Assemblywoman Maritza Davila. We are located at 249 Wilson Avenue and can be reached at 718-443-1205. Thank you.
All right, Jonathan. Boza, there are two Jonathans.
Oh, hi, good evening. Jonathan Pimposa representing Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez. We're located at 350 J Street, and I can be reached directly at 347-986-6146. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, Lacey, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lacey Tauber from Brooklyn Borough President Reynos's office. Happy to see you all in person again. Our phone number is 718-802-3700. You can reach us at askreynoso@brooklynbp.nyc.gov. And we have open constituent walk-ins every Wednesday from 9 to 3 at Brooklyn Borough Hall, 209 Jarleman Street. And congratulations, Celeste.
Hi, everyone. I'm Fran. I'm from Councilmember Sandy Nurse's office. We're at 56 Pennsylvania Avenue. I finally learned our phone number is 718-642-8664.
Hi, I'm Pablo Rivera. I'm from Assemblyman Dillon's office. We're at 366 Cornelia. You can reach me at 347-739-4818. 4818.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maria Valdez from Senator Julia Salazar. Phone number is 718-573-1726. I left the contact information in the back.
Quick introduction. My name is Juan Ortiz. I am the TA president of Hope Gardens.
Okay, all right. So next we have, if there are no other elected officials reps on Zoom, okay, I don't see any hands. We will move on now to our CBO, community-based organization, and any agency representatives, just your name and contact info right now. Any community-based organization or agency reps. I don't see any hands on Zoom. No one in person. Okay, oh wait, we might have someone on Zoom.
Hi, this is Adam from DSNY Community Affairs. My phone number is 212-291-1220. Once again, the contact is 212-291-1220. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I see two other hands, although I cannot read. Yep, Jasmine Torres, thank you. Yeah, got it. And Knowles afterwards. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine Torres with El Puente Bushwick, located at 311 Central, and our phone number is 718-452-0404.
And hi, everyone. Hi, Jasmine. This is Noel Elaine from the Bushwick Star Theater. We are at 419 Eldred Street, or will be when we open that building, hopefully in the spring. If you want to reach me, my number is 917-620-8546. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I don't see anyone else. We will move on now. We've already heard from our 83rd Precinct Commanding Officer, so that takes us down to the district manager's report, being my report. It is also very long. I will, however, summarize. So good evening, everyone, and welcome back again from the summer recess, and happy belated Labor Day. As some of you may know, this is one of the busiest times of year for the board as we return from recess and begin district needs engagement, aka the board's budget season. Over the past several years, the board's district office has supported the expansion and engagement options, including the annual district needs survey. I hope everyone's taken the survey already. And more recently, the district needs town hall. Flyers for next week's town hall are available in English and Spanish by the public sign-in sheet in the same location by the water cooler where we generally ask folks to place any notices. We are also finally in the process of onboarding a new staff member. Mr. Camacho mentioned this. We conducted 2 interviews with 2 candidates with strong applications and qualifications. We have someone right now that we've already submitted paperwork for to OMB, who will hopefully start before the end of this month or the first week in October. It remains to be seen what that timeline will look like, but hopefully Kim and I will have support in the office soon. I'd also like to thank the board members that attended the board's team building event over the summer. And hearing from them and learning more about their backgrounds, I was moved, I believe we all were, by their openness, compassion, and resiliency. I used to think Bushwick was what brought everyone together, our love for the neighborhood and community. I still think that's true, although when you look a little closer and get to know your neighbor better, it's clear that the Bushwick that folks know and have known over generations is a reflection of who we all are, including those same values. So thank you to you all for your presence at these meetings and in the community in general. And a friendly reminder to please save the following dates. The Bushwick District Needs Town Hall, Wednesday, September 27th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's September 27th, next Wednesday, at the Hope Gardens Community Center, 422 Central Avenue. The CB4 Annual Budget Committee meeting. This is required for all chairpersons, committee chairpersons, and executive board members, although everyone is welcome to attend. All committee meetings, I want to be very clear, are now hybrid. So you can attend, if you're the member of the public, you can attend on Zoom or in person. Board members, of course, unless you have a waiver, you're required to attend in person. The budget meeting will be Wednesday, October 11th from 6 to 7:30, and the board's district office, which is at 1420 Bushwick Avenue, room 370, or Zoom. The details are available on the board's online calendar. And then the CB4 and HPD Homeowner Resource Fair, that's going to be Tuesday, October 24th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Riseboro Youth Center. That's 1474 Gates Avenue. It's an extension of the work that the committee has done to support resources for small homeowners in the neighborhood. We know that there's a lot of help that's needed now. We want to make sure that we're bringing those resources into the community for homeowners. And of course, below are the meetings and events that I attended. I have marked the ones that I'm going to speak on. I won't be speaking on all of them. I do want to say thank you to Virgie Jones, who on June 27th attended the Bushwick Community Partnership Networking event. Thank you, Virgie. You know, we've been short-staffed, so it's difficult for us to be in more than one place at a time. Sometimes the office only has one staff person, whether it's Kim or myself. So we really appreciate board members attending events as well. And then in addition to the meetings they have to attend. And then on Friday, June 30th, there was a meeting with Riseboro. And so some of the meetings I mentioned today are really just to flag for the community, you know, concerns that are not just coming from the community themselves, but concerns coming now from the office because we're receiving so many complaints. This particular meeting was organized because not just one building, but multiple buildings that Riseboro manages have complaints coming from tenants. And these are things where we send to Riseboro to be addressed and we're not hearing back. And I'll send a follow-up email. I'm not hearing back. And so there comes a point where I can no longer sustain the follow-ups. What's going on? What's going on? We had a conversation with them. They have had some leadership changes. They said that they are working on improving the management-tenant relations. Unfortunately, as of this week, we still hear from the same tenants with the same issues. And so, you know, this is going to be ongoing. I imagine it'll be very similar, you know, unfortunately, to what we have to do with Hope Gardens, which is now under new management. But sometimes when it comes to accountability within our housing, it's required. And just a thank you to all the elected officials and representatives who also attended that meeting. I will say, as soon as I CC'd all of our elected representatives, I finally got a response. So now we know what it's going to take for that to happen. So, all right. Next, I have on Tuesday, July 11th, I had a call with a fellow district manager from South Brooklyn in regards to borough budget consultations. This year, probably against my better judgment, I volunteered for more work to be the borough budget coordinator. Quite frankly, morale was very low. No one wanted to even participate in budget consultations this year. So meaning we wouldn't be sitting in a room with the agencies holding them accountable. And we can't let that happen, right? That's where we make sure that we're being heard. And so, you know, we brainstormed and board members that are here are likely familiar with the document we go through every year that has the responses. Most of the time, very unhelpful responses. You know, the agency will try to accommodate this within existing resources. The agency does not want to fund this, generally doesn't explain what that means in the document at all, which means I have to then follow up with that agency to interpret the response. So we said, how about we just flag that, right, this year? So we added all of those responses and we put them on the spot, which not really, because they get the agendas in advance. But we essentially asked for them to further explain those answers, because at the end of the day, Mr. Camacho and I, the committee chairpersons, are then responsible for explaining why the budget requests we're submitting aren't being answered. And so we're seeing some improvement. You know, some agencies identified ways that we can potentially like bridge the gap, right, and make sure that whatever we're requesting is really being heard. But we said no one wants to waste their time. You know, we don't want to sit here and waste your time. Please don't waste ours. And so I think that we've made some progress, although it's new. So we'll have to see how it goes. Some agencies have been more receptive than others. Wednesday, July 19th, there was a DOT community engagement roundtable. It's been great to see our commissioners out in the community. Commissioner Rodriguez was there, the citywide commissioner. It was very much, this is DOT's plan. Period. There were multiple community boards that were invited that had questions about things impacting the district. And I think My perspective on it is it was just the standard agency response of where they just, report back what they basically just said, and folks were getting frustrated. It was very apparent. I was hoping there would be more of a dialogue around what we can do about transportation safety and about investing in our streets. But it didn't really seem like that was the goal of that particular meeting. So I really look forward to DOT coming to the board and, everyone can, then do their part. So on Friday, July 21st, the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit held an asylum seeker update for district managers. I was very excited because we've been getting a lot of emails, not just complaints. And I think this speaks to who we are, but we get requests from people saying, how can I help? Right. And so I connect them to HPD, who has oversight over the agency. Even the Health Hospitals Corporation, Gotham Health, which has a center over on Ellery and Broadway. They said, how can we help? And so we've been making connections like that. But one thing I don't understand is why isn't it more accessible? And I thought this was going to bridge that gap and provide us with the information. It did not do that. They essentially discouraged folks from just donating for a valid reason. The donations have to be vetted, right? They have to make sure that whatever is being donated is just being gone through. It's clean, sanitary, et cetera. And they want to make sure that volunteers all have background checks. Those things are understandable. All we're asking for is just how folks can do that, right? Where is our one-page fact sheet where we can now hand this out to the public in case folks want to get more involved? So we're still pushing for that. And I thank everyone, our elected officials, for making sure that 455 Jefferson Street, our one migrant shelter, is being well provided for. And on Monday, July 24th, and another day in August, I'll summarize these two together. It was in September. Yep, September 7th. Both our Assemblywoman, Maritza Davila, and our State Senator, Julia Salazar, held separate meetings with the New York State Liquor Authority, the new chair, Lily Fan. We all know, we're all too familiar with concerns about liquor license establishments. We wanted to make sure that whatever was happening in Bushwick was brought straight to the attention of the new SLA chair. And so they are not only responding to those concerns by sending inspectors out this entire summer. I've gotten at least 2 calls from businesses that have received violations and notices about noise and about method of operation. They're also starting they're hoping to start an internal quality of life task force. I'll leave the rest of the details to our Permits and Licenses Committee chairperson. And let's see, on July 25th, that was a Tuesday, we had a meeting with Ray Carrero from the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. This is a follow-up. I believe Edward Kopp, a board member, had a question about the neighborhood support team. We were selected. We've started those conversations, and I believe next steps are really just having a discussion about how the quality of life issues outside the Jefferson L stop, a lot of them caused by the oversaturation of nightlife, will be addressed. And this isn't just about nightlife establishments. It's also about the food trucks. It's also about the garbage. It's about everything. If anyone has any specific concern about any quality of life issues off of the Jefferson L stop, please let us know. And then on Friday, July 28th, this was a meeting with Councilmember Nurse, the precinct, and NYC Parks regarding park safety. There have been a lot of issues in Bushwick Playground this summer. We know a lot of our parks have seen different types of issues, folks, essentially breaking the locks. That's what they're doing at the end of the day. They're breaking public property, tampering with public property, and they're entering the parks. And there's a lot of activity that's, I believe, even escalated over the summer. So we're trying to come up with better ways to make sure the parks are secure. The precinct is working with the Parks Department. It's very difficult because folks, again, just keep cutting the chains, not just off of Bushwick Playground, but off of Green Central Knoll Field. These are ongoing conversations. Of course, Green Central Knoll is in Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's district. They are looking into alternatives as well. So, and I'm mentioning some of these things because I want folks to know that we hear you, and we know that they are problems, and we are doing our best to try to figure out a solution. But sometimes it's very challenging when the city has limited resources, but we're on it, and so are the elected officials. And on Thursday, August 3rd, there was a Future of Community Boards Working Group meeting. Those meetings are with district managers citywide. Happy to report that Staten Island is participating more now. In the past, there are only 3 community boards in Staten Island. It's very challenging for district managers in general to participate. So I'm very thankful when we can get their perspective and their participation. Friday, August 4th, a meeting with Assistant Chief Scott Henderson. So again, we heard a lot about, I don't know who my NCO is. I don't hear back from my NCO. And so we wanted to make sure that folks, one, knew who the NCOs were. We realized that the issue was in part, the information on the 8-3 precincts website was outdated. And so was the information on the Build-A-Block portal. So if you go to look for your Build-A-Block meeting, you see your NCOs, it was outdated. And so, and for months. And so we flagged that and we said, can we please, if you update that, that'll resolve probably 80% of these issues, at least in terms of people knowing who their NCOs are. And they were able to do that after that meeting. There was also a conversation about training, making sure that the NCOs have the training to understand their role and know how to work with the community and know what's expected of them. Because we know, again, the NCO program has changed since it was first created, but they're still here to serve the community. I want to just say thank you to Mr. Camacho, Anita Haynes, and Barbara Smith for also being in that meeting. And let's see, I will skip forward. Thursday, August 17th, the Bushwick Community Partnership Annual Back to School event. Thank you again to Kaishia Johnson, a new board member, and also to Virgie Jones for being available to table. And then Monday, August 21st, a meeting with Christian Celeste Tate, a new board member. Just want to give a shout out and say thank you. Has prepared an excellent housing data analysis, and we'll be sharing that at the next Housing and Land Use Committee meeting, which is next Tuesday. And also thank you to Andrew Choi, a board member who actually helped prepare the public hearing and regular meeting minutes this evening, used some sophisticated technology that I don't even use, ChatGPT and Otter. So those are just programs for folks that don't know and aren't familiar, but took what basically takes me an hour or more because I'm multitasking to complete. I managed to update some of the sections that were missing within 15 minutes before I came to the meeting today. So thank you to Andrew for saving me that time. And I believe we're getting close, folks. Almost there, home stretch. The Borough Service Cabinet meeting on Tuesday, September 12th. This was last week. The district managers, it's not just our office that was experiencing issues with HR at Borough Hall, which folks that aren't familiar, the board relies on the Brooklyn Borough President's Office for human resources support. And so that means they are responsible for approving our payroll and for processing new hires and for merit increases. We generally look to them to provide information if there are questions during the hiring process. They're also, responsible for, helping us get through the process itself, even though the boards ultimately have the authority on who they're going to hire. It's been very challenging, I would say, overall in the city at this time. There are a lot of transitions, there are a lot of changes, folks with institutional knowledge that have left. This is the same for OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. It happens when a borough president transitions and there's a new borough president. At the end of the day, we just want to figure out how to support the folks that help us so that way we can get the things that we need to get done in a timely manner. It should not take, a month to try to hire a new employee. And if that's the case, then there at least needs to be communication so we can communicate with the person we're trying to hire. So hopefully we'll be able to resolve this soon. And just want to say thank you to the Borough President's Office. Mr. Camacho did speak with the BP, Borough President Reynoso, and we were able to get some information that was needed to move forward. And I think I already touched on this. And the last thing I will say, borough budget consultations. We meet with agencies throughout the day, usually from 9 to 5. On September 18th, HPD participated in the consultation. I moderated the agenda, and the commissioner was also there. And so to that, I just say that we are regularly seeing the commissioner. The commissioner is present. He was a community board member. He was a council member. He was the borough president. And now he's the commissioner of HPD. He wants to hear from the communities. And so I just put that out there. And I know we're going to hear more from Housing and Land Use soon about what the future of housing in Bushwick may look like. And we certainly know the reality that we live every day. So thank you, everyone. That is my report. That is all. All right, we'll move right along. Committee reports, and we'll start with Civic, Public Safety, Religious. Ms. Spellin is actually excused. So let me pull up this packet. There was only one item, and before I jump into it, just want to give deference to any committee members that are here if you would like to provide a summary, just in case. Go ahead. Yeah.
Gotta get the mic because they can't hear you.
Hi, everyone. Zachary Hendrickson, CB4 member and member of the Civic, Public Safety and Religious Committee. The primary item on our agenda was hearing a street co-naming request for Himrod Street and Wilson Avenue, the corner there, in memoriam of Salvatore Sam Mendolia, or Sam the Glazier, as many folks know him. And so I didn't know Sam personally, and so I don't want to attempt to give a half summary of his life. But what was clear to me as a new member of this board is just how many people love and know Sam. There were so many folks at the committee meeting. The room was packed, which was not what I expected for my first committee meeting. But it was really incredible to hear all the love and care from all the people that Sam had touched in his life, or a small sample, I should say, of the people who touched Sam's life. So that was the primary piece of business. And then I think it's also important just to highlight in our committee mail review, one thing that came up was we received over the summer, we received the semi-annual report from the Civilian Complaint Review Board, the CCRB, which for anyone who's unfamiliar is the city agency, city department that is responsible for overseeing complaints against NYPD officers. That is both from community members, regular civilians like us, but also from within IAB, Internal Affairs Bureau. So it's a mix of those claims. And so that was one of the things that we received. They release these twice a year, semi-annually. And so I specifically entered into record a couple of things that I felt were of note from that report. Specifically, and I'll make this quick, that year over year, we've seen an uptake in CCRB complaints from 2022 citywide to 2023. The numbers specifically are in the minutes, so I'm not going to bore everyone with all the numbers, but specifically here in Bushwick, I think it's worth saying now, we also saw a 300% increase in CCRB complaints to the 83rd precinct year over year. And I know that a lot of people have feelings about this and questions about what this looks like. So I don't want to speculate or anything like that. But what was decided kind of at this committee was that I would look into what's going on there, basically, to get us more information. Because in the semi-annual report, this is a citywide report. They only provide some numbers related to specific precincts and specific districts. And so I have the contact information of the Brooklyn member of the CCRB to request more information. So I just want everyone to know that I'm working on that to get more information, to get some more insight, and hopefully be able to provide more information at a later date. So I don't want to dig into that without having a full picture of what's going on.
Thank you. All right. Any questions about this meeting from board members? I don't see any hands. I don't see anyone on Zoom. All right. Thank you, Zachary. All right.
I just want, I'm sorry, I just want a correction in regards to the minutes. It says Barbara Jackson, and it wasn't Barbara, it's Barbara Smith on there. Barbara Smith, I am the president of the 83rd Precinct Council, and then we have a meeting once a month, and she put Barbara Jackson instead of Barbara Smith. Thank you.
Okay, it's just a report amendment. We got it. Thank you, Mr. Camacho. All right. And we will move on now to environmental protection, transportation, sanitation, plus parks and recreation. That is Barbara Jackson.
Good evening. My report will be short. On August 31st, I attended an Empower meeting at 484 Knickerbocker, where I met the first commissioner, Tina Cancel, Down to Earth Woman, on September 6th, executive board meeting. I attended that. September 12th, permits and then we had a meeting parks August 21st, where Gary Dearborn, the Chief Capital of New York Restoration Project, where they're going to work on Cooper Street Garden. They're gonna put in new piping and there's a whole layout for it. If you would like to see it, you can pull up the report at the office. Due to time, it's just a long report and some of us would like to go home, right? I mean, I'm keeping it real. Then we have the new thing for the parks field permit that only one person applied for it, I think. And since the slot was open, we gave it to them. Okay. Other than that, that's it. The parks are good. Are there any questions?
Great job. Board members. All right. I don't see anyone in person. I don't see anyone on Zoom. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. And next we have permits and licenses. Melissa?
Thank you, Celeste. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Apologies, I'm not on video. At the very last days of pregnancy, baby is due any day now. So just want to give a quick overview. We've had a busy summer over at the Permits and License Committee. We met 2 times over the summer. So I'm just going to go over the first meeting, which was in August, Tuesday, August 8th, and go over the establishments that came forward, and then I'll jump into any meetings that I attended, and hopefully keep it short. So the PLC met Tuesday, August 8th. At 6 p.m. and we had a number of new establishments coming for their support on their liquor license. The first one is the new applicant, Cholula Deli and Grill, located at 222 Wyckoff Avenue, seeking a beer and wine license. This is between Menahan Street and Grove Street. It's a restaurant, a family-owned business that has been operating on this corner for over 20 years, and they were hoping to increase their sales by adding some beer and wine to serve with their food. And the intended hours of operation on their application were as follows: Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. They submitted their stipulation sheet and also informed them of, our stipulations of no alcohol sales past 12 a.m. on Sundays. They will not be participating in DOT's open restaurants program. And we did invite them to join the meeting if they wanted to attend. Next up, we had Holly Grove LLC, located at 283 Wyckoff Avenue, seeking a full liquor license. And this is on the corner of Grove Street and Wyckoff Avenue. It's a catering hall. This establishment came forward to the committee previously, and he was returning with a completed business plan, including hours of operation. The committee did not feel that it was appropriate to make, a recommendation with very little information shared at the previous meeting. So we were very happy to hear that the establishment owner was able to connect with Riseboro and get some support on that front. So the intended hours of operation are as follows: sales of alcohol Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. And we did mention to the owner if he would be able to amend his Sunday hours to 11 p.m. And he was able to submit that information before our meeting today. I hope. I know we didn't receive it early on, but Celeste, did we receive those amended hours before today?
Yeah. He mentioned that everything is on the report. So yes, I believe we did.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that was a while ago. Great. And then, yeah, so this is an event catering hall. It's right down the street from the Head Start and from the St. Bridget's Church, which is right up the block on St. Nicholas and Grove. And next up, we had Halsey House, located at 1204 Halsey Street, looking for a full liquor license at the corner of Wilson Avenue and Halsey Street. This is a bar tavern. They've been operating for 4 years, specializing in craft beer and bar food. The owner plans to change their method of operation to include security, live music, karaoke, DJ, jukebox, and scheduled performances. So they have been, operating, but do not have currently in their license the opportunity to include other types of entertainment at their business. Their intended hours are stated as follows: Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., Friday through Saturday from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Of course, we reminded them of the stipulations, and they've been in the community and have been pretty active. And we did flag for this establishment just concerns around the ending times for these scheduled performances, and they agreed to end the liquor sale hours for Sunday through Wednesday until 12 a.m. and Thursday through Saturday until 2 a.m. So this is, for us a win, I would say, and coming into agreement with, making sure that we're not having people pour out into the neighborhood so late after going to a performance or attending, some kind of show. And also the business did let us know that they did soundproofing and have communicated with the neighbors about the noise levels and haven't had any issues to date. And the next applicant was a class change applicant, Bushwick Taco Company, located at 839 Knickerbocker Avenue between Covert Street and Schaefer Street. They have been operating mainly, as a small to-go restaurant for 6 years under a beer and wine license, looking to modify and upgrade to a full liquor license to increase revenue. And they have informed us, and also their intended sales of alcohol hours are as follows: Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. And we did inform them of our stipulations and also reminded them that, we'll do some more digging, because previously the building that used to be on the corner of the block that this establishment is located was a church, and it triggers, the SLA rule for just a beer and wine license. But now that church is no longer there. It is now being redeveloped into probably condos, I believe, and has been in the construction process for quite some time. So they are able to upgrade to a full liquor license because it's no longer a church, a place of worship. And then we had other businesses during this meeting that were not present, I believe, but Rosie's Pizza Bar came forward at 128 Central Avenue, beer and wine license, and they came to the committee requesting an extension to their hours on Thursday to operate till 4 a.m. because currently they have a 2 a.m. license, and our committee was not in favor of the extension of the hours at the time of recommendations. So just want to let everyone know we're standing firm on trying to reduce some of the hours in support of just quality of life issues, noise complaints, et cetera. And we also had La Abuelita Corp located at 123 Wyckoff Avenue, which is a new applicant. But this committee does not review any store deli applications, so we did not have to reach out. And then we had a renewal applicant, Old Timers, located at 1157 Myrtle Avenue with a full liquor license. They were provided a waiver for their 30-day notice as per the process. And the committee agreed to remove the establishment and address the complaints at the time of the following renewal process. They have not come forward. And we know that there's been a number of complaints with this establishment. So we'll make sure to remember that at the time of them coming for their renewal. And next up, we had 10 Bells Bushwick, located at 65 Irving Avenue. The business owner has been continuously invited, and we also will keep this in mind, when they come to renewal, if they ever do plan to respond to any of our requests. And we are making sure that we are sending the information of no show or no, cooperation with the committee to the SLA. So we're doing a little more work on the back end. And when I say we, I'm saying Celeste and Kim. Thank you so much for doing, the follow-up and the paperwork to really hold establishments accountable when it comes to, showing up and being prepared and, showing the community board and our committee the respect it deserves. So let's just try to keep it simple as I could for that meeting. We also did meet on in September, September 12th. We had a number of applicants and one cannabis license that came forward. So please bear with me. All of the notes are in the report. If you have any questions, please reach out to the board. So I'm going to try to get through this. First up, we had Twin Girls 2022, located at 1087 Broadway. This is a new liquor license, looking for a full liquor license located at Dodworth Street and Broadway. This is a restaurant, bar, tavern, serving Asian cuisine. And the business owner's attorney have, we're not present, but the intended hours of sale of alcohol are as follows: Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 a.m., Friday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. And we did notify the applicant of our stipulation on outdoor spaces. All outdoor spaces must be shut down and closed at 10 p.m. And the owner was in agreement of the outdoor space to stipulated hours and amending the hours until 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday rather than a 4 a.m. stop. And these were submitted September 13th. Next up, we had a method of operation change applicant over at the Sampler BK, located at 234 Star Street, who has a full liquor license between Irving Avenue and Wyckoff Avenue. This is the bar tavern. They've been operating since 2017. And they wanted to do their due diligence to come forward to the committee to ensure that they are including, and covering themselves for liability reasons, patron dancing, DJs, and live music, therefore submitting a method of operation change as a requirement to include those things on their application. All business owners and attorneys were informed of our jobs board, and their current sales of alcohol hours are as follows: Monday through Thursday from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., Friday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to 3 a.m., and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. And their outdoor space operates from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we had a ton of back and forth between Leo, who is the establishment owner, about this particular establishment, the location. It happens to be on Star Street, which is, that strip of condension of, where we have a lot of nightlife happening. So there was a lot of concerns around including that, even though they did share that they will have security that they're planning to, accommodate and do that. So next up, we did have a class change applicant. We're seeing more of these. We're seeing that people want to upgrade from their beer and wine license to a full liquor license. So this is for Rico Chimi, located at 1492 Myrtle Avenue, at the corner of Linden Street and Irving Avenue, right across the street from the gas station on Myrtle. This is a restaurant. They've been operating for 9 years and are looking to increase their revenue by adding sales of alcohol, full liquor license. So their current sales of alcohol hours are as follows: Monday through Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 a.m., and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Also had a lot of back and forth between committee members around concerns, especially in this area, noise complaints. Mr. Camacho highlighted that the mayor's office and our liaison did reach out about amplified music without a permit, and that there's been some concerns because they can't continue to work that way. And then finally, we did have our first cannabis application review, and I'll just say that there is no formal role or delineated responsibilities for what we're supposed to do as a committee. We're learning as we go. We're hoping to invite the office of cannabis management to join us soon, hopefully, to explain some more of the process. But this dispensary is going to be located at 85 Sedam Street. It's an adult use retail dispensary. It's on the corner of Sedam Street and Evergreen, which is a mainly residential area. This is a card applicant, which are licenses that our first retail dispensaries are prioritized to individuals who were previously convicted of marijuana related offenses, and it's part of the state's approach to kind of continue some of that decriminalization around marijuana. So we had a really great presentation from one of the partners there, Ms. Giovanni, and her partner Ray, who is the applicant from Bushwick, and they're looking to operate a clean adult cannabis, proper regulated establishment with security on both front and back exit. They're focused on sustainability, transparency, social equity, and intend to have an educational component in which they want to address some of the concerns that I think we've all been seeing in the neighborhood, which is, these gummies or, these products that are being sold that are actually bad for you and, you should not be consuming. How much should you take? What's making you sick? What does it mean if your product is clean and tested, and what you should be looking for? So there's an education piece behind it. They intend to have professional experts and cannabis people come in to answer questions. So there was a very robust conversation around their approach, what they're hoping to do, and also, highly encouraging them to meet with their neighbors to let them know that this is happening. And this location has already been set by the state. This has been identified for them. They, have their lease for this to occupy this space, and it's also across the street from Senator Salazar's district office. So we had a ton of back and forth there, and really just thinking about, how we can continue to advocate and work together to tackle some of the bigger issues with, all of these licenses coming in. and also now with the additional cannabis licenses that we're going to start seeing more of. And then just in new business, Celeste, myself, and Mr. Camacho met with Assemblywoman Davila's office around the task force in July, I want to say, or August, I don't remember. But we met with the task force that is going to help address some of the concerns that are happening with the nightlife venues that are in that Wyckoff, Jefferson, and Star Street area. So that was a really good conversation. We have Christine Malden from our committee, who's going to be representing our committee, as well as Celeste and Mr. Camacho while I'm away. So that was really hopeful, and hopefully, we can figure out how we can work together with the businesses and also with the Assemblywoman and her staff to get the support we need in that area. We also did have a meeting that Senator Salazar hosted with the new SLA chair a couple weeks ago, which was a really good conversation. And other board chairs, committee chairs, and district managers from CB1, CB3, and CB5, I believe. And, all of us shared similar, overlapping issues and threads of what we were experiencing, especially with the nightlife venues, especially with, complaints. And we were able to get some updated information in regards to how the SLA processes complaints. And a big update that I think is really important to share with everyone on here and to share with your neighbor is that 311 complaints go nowhere. And I know we often say, call 311, make the complaint, but for the SLA to make a formal decision or even move forward with doing any further investigating on an establishment, on a bad actor, they need to have that complaint through their portal on their website. So now, folks, if you want a 311 call, you can, but it will not help our case when it comes to working with the SLA, when it comes to, revoking someone's license. It's going to take a lot of work, and also when establishments come for their renewal. So this is new information. We've been told, for all these years, do 311, but now, we have to kind of redirect ourselves to also submitting those complaints straight to the SLA on their website. And thank you, Kim, for sharing the link in the chat. So very important. Please, if you have any questions, reach out to the board in regards to the proper process, so we can really start to move on some of these businesses that we're concerned about. So other than that, it was a really just good conversation with the senator and the new chair around how we can work together and also alleviate some of the work that the community boards have been doing and really working together with them. So apparently there's a task force that's being committed, that's being coordinated. So we'll look out for that and continue to do our due diligence by doing the work with the committee and this board. So I'll stop there because that was a lot. I apologize. We were very busy this summer. And thank you, everyone. Celeste, I don't know if I left anything out.
No, that sounded good to me. Thank you, Melissa. There's a chorus of no's here. I think you covered everything. So I don't see any questions. I have to ask questions. Nothing on Zoom, nothing in person. All right, recommendations. So we have quite a few recommendations tonight. I will start in order of the agenda. Public hearing item for Hope Gardens. If it was not clear, they're requesting support from the board for the project that they're doing at Hope Gardens with the boilers. So is there a recommendation from the board for this proposal? If we want to leave, we need a
Yeah,
recommendation.
I want to make a recommendation to approve, but to also add in there to make sure that there is a clause and balance to make sure that they get done. And there is a bond and make sure that we're part of that process. Also, that section 3 employees, the jobs, make sure that they're from Bushwick. We want to put some specs in there, make sure we held them accountable. Yes, we cannot allow Hope Garden to be flooded anymore. So we really need to help them make sure they do it right. So I will make a recommendation to give them a letter of support.
Okay, is there a motion for that recommendation? Okay. So Mr. Camacho made the motion with the recommendation and raised her hand to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you, everyone. First recommendation done. Civic Public Safety Religious, the street co-naming for Sam DeGlazier. Is there a motion on the committee's recommendation?
Move to recommend the renaming of the corner.
Yep. Oh, hold on, Mike coming.
I move to recommend the renaming of the corner of Himrod and Wilson to Sam Mendolia Way.
All right. Okay, that was a motion. Yep, that was a motion from Zach Hendrickson, and then a second from James Stewart. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Was that someone on Zoom? Any abstentions? Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. So unanimous, so moved. Environmental Protection, Parks and Recreation, the Cooper Street Garden Improvements Proposal. Is there a motion for the committee's recommendation of support? Okay, there's one. Okay, I got a motion from Caitlin Penner. Alvina Davis seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. And for the field permits, Mr. Camacho, do you want to just very briefly, so folks know exactly? Yeah.
Yes, what's on here is Thomas Borland is open. There's an applicant that has it for 1 to 3. The school has it before that. Bushwick Park is Rio Guadalupe. She has it Sunday. We eliminate some of the slots because of the issues that are going on. We got it from 9 a.m. to 7. It used to be 8, but we eliminated their hours because they're out there. Want to make sure other people can use it and make sure we can monitor it. From Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 5 to 7, only because 3 o'clock the schools use it for the soccer. Saturday from 9 to 7 p.m. Hexer's Park is Super Kids Soccer. He has it Sunday at the same time, 9 to 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 5 to 7, Hexer Park. He has Sunday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Quebradilla, Green Central Leno, you know there's issues in that park, but he's going to try to work with it. Dog species from 9 to 7 Sundays. Saturdays from 9 to 7. He's only using Thursdays and Fridays from 5 to 7. Home Park, Quebradilla, same time, 9 to 7, but he's using Home Park Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 5 to 7, and Saturday from 9 to 7. And that is my recommendation. Thank you and have a lovely and wonderful day.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second for the field permit recommendation? I didn't hear name. Okay, a second made by Caitlin Penner. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. All right, we're almost there. Last, we have permits and licenses. Oh, boy. Okay. So you have some options. As always, a blanket vote. If folks feel comfortable making a blanket vote for all of them, that is an option. If you feel comfortable making a blanket vote for the August licenses, that's also an option. What would the board like to do?
Let's do a blanket vote.
Okay. Oh, hold on. We have a question in person.
Would the option for the blanket vote be to recommend to agree to that committee's recommendations, not a blanket yes?
Correct. It would be for the committees. Yes, thank you for that.
I would like to do that.
Oh, all right. So I will take that as a motion for the blanket vote. Is that for, oh wait, we have another question in person. Oh, okay, so we have more support. All right, so I just want to clarify, I think we have some, do you have something, Alvina?
For the,
Point of order.
on number 8,
Yes,
would that be included with all of this? Because I understand that,
from which, from August or,
August,
okay, let's take a look.
no,
No,
That's
this is,
10 bells.
okay.
Yeah, Ms. Davis. So it would be no support because they did not attend.
Yeah, so everything that the committee recommended, that would be included in the blanket vote. So, and I just want to point of clarification on that, Zach. Was that for both August and September together, the blanket vote? I got a thumbs up. And James Stewart, you're still comfortable seconding? All right.
Can I make a point of order
Okay.
first? As that included 1492, which has six, more than six 311 complaints. I know I had a email from the mayor's office in regard. Is that
Which is,
voting?
what is this? So is it, okay, anything that this includes anything the committee
Oh, got it,
recommended.
got it. All right. I'm
And this
sorry.
is just for SLA.
Okay, got it.
Yes,
Okay.
we have some. I'm gonna ask you to make a motion for that and someone's gonna need to second it.
I motion,
Okay, you motion for what?
I motion for the blanket vote.
So yeah, we're not at the vote yet. Someone wants to go over all of the recommendations again.
Oh,
Are you motioning for that?
no,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, what do you, okay, what is it?
there in the review,
Yes.
but no, and the committee recommend.
Yeah, so just a point of clarification on what the committee recommends is what Melissa specified as the hours and the stipulations. So Melissa read through the hours and stipulations for every single applicant. That is what the committee makes the recommendation on. And the recommendations are in the reports, which the board members are sent before this meeting, which should always be reviewed. So again, if there's additional support to read through everything again, we can absolutely do that. But if there is not, we do have a motion that is pending on the floor to blanket vote, just blanket vote. We're not even at the recommendation part yet. We're just blanketing. So there is a motion to blanket vote the recommendations for the SLA specifically for August and September. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, Edward Kopp, abstain? Okay, one sec. All right, so moved. Now for the recommendations themselves, is there a motion for the recommendation? Ben Tucker makes a motion for the recommendations. Oh, Christian Celeste, I heard the name first. All right, seconds. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, one at a time, please. Okay, I heard, okay, for abstentions first, Alvina Davis. Any other abstentions? Joanna Bennett. Okay, one second.
Barbara Smith.
You abstain too, Barbara?
Yes.
No, Barbara Smith. Yeah. Okay, so. Okay, say your name, please. Okay, thank you. All right. Any other abstentions? No, she opposes. So I have Alvina Davis, Joanna Bennett, Edward Kopp, Barbara Smith, Stephanie Anderson abstained. And I have Barbara Jackson opposed. Am I missing anyone? I don't hear anyone. So moved. Thank you. All right, so we now have the cannabis applicant. Yes, so is there a motion from the board on the committee's recommendation?
I motion to.
Okay, motion from Edward Kopp, seconded by Zachary Hendrickson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Oh, okay, one moment, please. All right, Alvina Davis, I heard Joanna Bennett. Any other abstentions? Any opposed?
I oppose. Z Navoa.
Okay, Barbara Jackson and Z Navoa opposed.
Barbara Smith.
Opposed as well, Barbara?
Yes.
Okay, opposed. Anyone else opposed? Okay, I have Alvina Davis and Joanna Bennett abstained, Barbara Jackson, Zuma Navoa, Barbara Smith opposed. Anyone else? Am I missing anyone? Okay, Asari Polite abstains. If there's no one else, this motion carries. Thank you, everyone. That concludes recommendations. We did it.
Yay.
All right. Old business. No. No business tonight. New business. I'm gonna take it none. No new business tonight. Announcements. If you're on Zoom, please raise your hand. 1.5 minutes. Oh, someone said 1 minute. So I see sanitation. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, thank you for inviting me. Just wanted to make it quick and short. If you had, just so you know, come October 2nd, composting will begin in Brooklyn. If you have not received one, please do order one by either calling 301 or going on our website. I'll provide the links in the chat room. But just keep in mind that separation of leaf and yard waste will be mandatory when composting begins in October. So what does that mean? That means that if you have not before, please bundle your twigs and branches with twine and place them at the curb, or you can put them in the brown bin that was issued by us, or in your own issued alternative organics bin. We can provide stickers for that, or your paper, lawn, and leaf bag, or a clear plastic bag. So if you have any questions or any clarifications, we are offering info sessions throughout the month, and I will also provide you links for that as well. And if you'd like to contact me, I'll leave you my contact information. My contact information is 212-291-1220. Once again, the number is 212-291-1220. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I see Melissa has her hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Celeste. Hi, everyone. This is just an announcement. It is my last meeting till I think December, and I wanted to give everyone an update that Tashana Wade is going to be supporting the committee while I am on maternity leave. So just wanted to give Tashana, some props and a big shout out, and thank you for stepping in and supporting along with Mr. Camacho and Celeste as we continue to do the work for the committee. That's all. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Melissa, and thank you, Tashana. All right, I see Jonathan Denwan.
Good evening, everyone. I gotta apologize for my camera. I'm all blurry, but just real quick, because I know we're pressed for time. Let me give you some brief updates. Earlier this month, the Congresswoman actually invited the fraud administrator to the district to meet with stakeholders regarding the freight railroad network that runs through North Brooklyn as well as parts of Queens. She also invited the railroad operators CSX and New York and Atlantic Railway, who provided an overview of their operations, any safety measures that they are implementing, and environmental sustainability priorities. The goal of this meeting was to explore opportunities for solutions and collaborations with the federal authority and partners in government. This is the first, but we will have many other meetings regarding this topic. Also, the Congresswoman was on a congressional delegation trip in August. She went to South America with other members of Congress, and they met with leaders of several countries like Colombia, Brazil, Chile, to discuss democracy, the environment, immigration, and just overall strengthening the relationship between the United States and Latin America. But before she went, she actually made it a point to visit the Roosevelt Hotel, where she met with families, discussed the asylum seekers issues. She knows the city's resources are being stretched thin, but she also condemns Republicans' efforts to use the migrants to make a political statement, especially while they're unwilling to partner with the Democrats to pass comprehensive immigration reform. So while she was there, she also held a press conference calling for more federal resources for New York City and a bipartisan resolution to this issue. Lastly, I just want to mention, Mr. Camacho mentioned this earlier, but the Congresswoman hosted a flood protection workshop in collaboration with FEMA, New York City DEP, DOT, OEM, and the American Red Cross to discuss the flooding issues in Bushwick. We distributed over 30 rain barrels and over 200 flood guards, thanks to New York City DEP. So we'd like to thank all the agencies, the community leaders, residents, and of course, Community Board 4 for helping make that event a success. So I thank you all. Thank you, Chairman Camacho. Thank you, Celeste. Congratulations, Celeste. And yeah, that's the end for me. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also Melissa, oh, the baby. You know, we're having a baby, so you gotta bring her back, man. We gotta see her.
Yes, I promise. December, I'll bring the baby.
All right, next, bless you. Next, we have Juan.
Hey everyone, it's Juan with Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's office. Just a little quick summary of the summer. We did have a mental health workshop alongside Department of Health. A lot of people came out to that. We also gave out various backpacks throughout the district. We were in Bushwick. We did partner up with PS 123 as well. We also had a community cleanup in our district. For some future events, so we were today at the SBS event today at Maria Hernandez Park on the 24th, September 24th. This Sunday, we will be tabling a Clean Bushwick initiative, the Climate Week event on the Troutman Street from 12 to 2. We're gonna have a Narcan training at Pine Box from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on October 14. On October 21st, we're gonna have an e-waste event with the Ecology Center. That is gonna be at the corner of Knickerbocker Avenue and Suidam Street from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you missed our first mental health first aid training, we will be having another one in Ridgewood. That will be at the Greater Ridgewood Youth Center. And then if you have any trash issues or graffiti issues, please reach out to our office and let us know. Report it to 311 and give us the 311 number. And just a little friendly reminder, and just a heads up, there's a lot of seniors in our district who are going through food stamps scam. So if you know anybody who's a victim of this, please reach out to our office and let us know about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. I don't see any other hands raised on Zoom. Anyone in person, please come grab a mic. Oh, hold up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Jasmine. I didn't see the hand.
Hi, it's okay. I know it's late. Real quick, I just wanted to tell everyone that I heard a lot of talking about issues that we're having concerning youth. So I just wanted to take a moment to push the services we provide, which are completely free youth services from 13 to 21. Sometimes we got to keep those teens busy, and our center is more than happy to take your teens in and help really work on those values that I think make Bushwick great. So, yep, just wanted to send that plug in. We're going to have an orientation tomorrow and Friday from 4 to 6 if anyone wants to stop by.
Thank you. All right. No one else on Zoom, right? Okay. No one else on Zoom in person. Oh, who's there?
It's Deshauna. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So she said they have an orientation, but where?
Okay, it's with El Puente, I believe, the orientation. If you're referring to the last person who made the announcement, we can always follow up and make sure the board has those details. It might be ongoing, if I understood correctly. Okay, it's also in the chat. Yes, 311 Central Ave, Bushwick Leadership Center. Okay, all right. In-person announcements, we're almost there.
Hi, the Black College Expo is going to be September 23rd. It's 10 to 4 p.m. and it's a free event, and it's going to be at Medgar Evers College at 1650 Bedford Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, Ms. Bennett, for sending it over.
Hi again, everyone. Lacey from the Borough President's Office. 3 quick things. One, as Juan mentioned, it is Climate Week. We are having a big event tomorrow at Borough Hall, a sustainable building resource fair. So if you are a property owner or you know someone who wants to get more information about compliance with Local Law 97, how to do building upgrades, weatherization, connect with incentives for those kind of things, we're going to have a bunch of organizations present as well as a bunch of contractors who do that kind of work. Tomorrow, so that's tomorrow at Borough Hall from 4 to 7. And then next week, unfortunately, the same time as your town hall, we are doing a Latino Heritage event at Borough Hall. That's from 6 to 9. So that's going to be really fun. Food performances, all that kind of stuff. And then lastly, I know that our Director of Community Boards, Carol Ann, is in the process of confirming a bunch of trainings for community board members. I don't have all that information with me right now, but I just want to encourage everyone, especially the new members, to take part in those trainings. Usually what we do is we bring out, a city agency to talk about what they do. I know we have one about affordable housing, fair housing, a bunch of other interesting stuff. So stay tuned for more information about that.
Yes, the first one is next Thursday at 6 p.m. If I'm not mistaken, all board members should have received an email from Carol Ann.
All right, I won't do a recap. Subscribe to our newsletter for that. Upcoming events, movie night. If it doesn't rain, please cross your fingers that it won't rain again. This Saturday, Irving Square Park, Callahan Kelly grand opening celebration on October 7th. More details to come, and you'll be getting an invite, all the agencies and electeds here. HPD van on 4 different dates over by Wyckoff and Myrtle and at Callahan Kelly Park. I have a flyer over there. We're going to have a tree care event on the 14th in Bushwick. Citizen Pruners, I expect to see you there. Narcan training on the 28th at General Irving at Irving Square Park. Haunted Highland, same day. We need volunteers in costumes to scare the children. Knickerbocker Halloween Parade, date to be determined, but we'll let everyone know about that soon. That's it. Good night.
Thank you, Fran.
Hi, Edward Kopp again. Just if you weren't aware, the mayor has been doing these breaking bread and building bonds events. There is one tomorrow, Bushwick United Parish, 1139 Bushwick Avenue at the corner of Madison Street. Tomorrow, 21st. Doors open at 5:30, starts at 6, goes till 8. So if you've been seeing these town halls he's been doing where there's been a lot of videos where a lot of the stuff that's coming out when we get those off the cuff moments, this is where they're coming from.
All right. I don't see anyone else. I have another hand. Last call.
Where? Hello. Good evening. Good evening now. Congratulations, Celeste.
Thank you.
Awesome. And to Mr. Camacho on the board. Danielle Chambers here. I am here to represent the Bushwick Film Festival that is coming up this fall. I would look for everybody to be there. It's going to be held this year at the Williamsburg Cinema. I expected all of us to support it. Many of you have known Koibe Kote, former board member. She's not a producer now. And she's also the CEO and founder of the Bushwick Film Festival. So it is absolutely, our duty to step up, and have some fun with her. The red carpet event will this year be held at the Borough President's office. And we're gonna lay that red carpet out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope a lot of our officials will be receiving, if you haven't already, received an invitation to attend. And then that's the 25th. The 26th, though, through the 29th, we will be presenting a variety of indie films from across the globe. This is not, as they say, this is not your mother's jeans. This is international. Okay, we're coming out with the designers at this point. And we are very proud of Bushwick. Bushwick has been supporting us. We've all been here, and many of you who've had the opportunity to see any of the films, it's a lot of fun. Does anyone here go to the Syndicated or Lot 45? So you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't, talk to the people who have been there. It's a ball. It's a totally new it's an experience that a lot of people just have heard about. You've heard about Tribeca. Everybody goes like, oh, Tribeca's in Manhattan. We can't do that. What? We're stepping it in Bushwick our way. It's a Bushwick way and it's a lot of fun. So you'll see a lot of your homeowners, a lot of your merchants, some of the people who have been asking for licenses. I'm looking for them. Anybody who would like to be a sponsor, please see me. Any VIPs, see me. I would like very much to include as many of our Bushwick entrepreneurs, restaurateurs, talent. I'd like to see you. I'd like to plug you in. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to each and every one of you. October the 25th.
Oh, you see that? Yeah, I saw that October the 25th. If I don't see you there, she gonna come get y'all.
All right, one last thing from Pran.
Something I forgot to say is that we're also getting a lot of calls about scams, not just the SNAP ones. Folks in the community have been victims of scams by their own neighbors. Anyone can be a victim of a scam. There's no shame in that. Call our office. We had 4 constituent cases. Some folks who are afraid of approaching the police because of their immigrant status. That's not a reason not to make a report. Come to us for support. We can help you with that. If you are a victim of a crime committed by a U.S. citizen, you're eligible for a U visa. So spread the word, educate your seniors, and protect the migrants who are coming in here without knowing what the city offers in terms of resources. Our office is here to help folks with that, and we speak Spanish and other languages, so send them our way.
Thank you, Fran. All right, that's enough for announcements. Second roll, we gotta do second roll call. Be ready. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we actually have one more announcement, folks. I thought we were done.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, you got 5 seconds. 30 seconds.
My name is Felix Ceballo. Congratulations, Celeste. The 83rd precinct, they represent, they left already, but I want to say something. The life is no, I want to say nothing is perfect. The life is not perfect. The human being is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But I want to say we are activity together with the 90% and also the 82%, and they're doing a wonderful job. And also, I saw close with the Officer Lopez, Officer Gomez, and they so close with the community. I want to say that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ceballos. All right, second roll call. Please be ready on Zoom. Tashana Wade.
Here, and congratulations, Celeste.
Thank you. Jerry Valentin.
Present. Have a good night, everybody.
Ben Tucker. Present in person. James Stewart. Present in person. Dustin Sunborn. Present in person. Maria Soler. Present in person. Bernadina Shell. Barbara Smith.
Present.
Milagro Sandoval. Present. Alicia Ruiz. Present. Raul Rubio. Asari Polite. Present. Caitlin Penner. I was excused. Levi Orenstein Wolf. Zuma Navoa.
Present.
Desmond Monroe. Mary McClellan. Raman Mama. Christine Malden. Cassandra LeVay's excused. Edward Kopp. Present. Nicholas Kaplan. Present. Luisa
Celeste,
Oser.
I'm here. I can't hear you.
Tara Jones Thomas. Virgie Jones. Present. Kaisha Johnson. Barbara Jackson. Tanisha Honeygan.
I don't know, something's wrong with this.
Zachary Hendrickson. Ann Guiney. Christopher Graham. Freddie Fowler. Cecilia Fabian. Jasmine Santiago Diaz. Alvina Davis. Andrew Choi. Christian Celeste Tate. Felix Ceballos. Melissa Carrera Solano.
Present, good night.
Robert Camacho. Rob Brown. Makiba Brown Aline. Joshua Brown. Joanna Bennett. Stephanie Anderson. Isa Abney. Motion to adjourn. Alvina Davis makes a motion. Who's second by Ben Tucker? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Good night. It's 9:08. We're adjourned.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, this thing. I don't know. Where was that?